The 2024 Bossies pre-show is brought to you by Aaron Grubb Music, available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and other major music platforms. Follow Aaron Grubb Music on X at Aaron M. Grubb, on Blue Sky at aarongrub.bsky.social, and on Instagram at Aaron Grubb Music. And Read Only Magazine, a biannual retro gaming publication that delves into the art and passion surrounding classic video games. Follow Read Only Magazine on Instagram at Read Only Magazine. Visit readonlymagazine.com for more info. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 Bossies pre-show event presented by Boss Rush Media and the Boss Rush Network. I'm one of your hosts for the evening, Celeste Roberts, contributor to and co-editor of Read Only Magazine.
And I am Andre Wilson. I am a content creator and proud contributor to the Boss Rush family of podcasts. We are honored to host the 2024 Bossies pre-show as we celebrate the games, platforms, and communities that have brought us all together.
Tonight's main event is a tribute to our shared love for incredible stories, unforgettable characters, and boundless creativity. From the music that inspires us and the levels that challenge us, to the groundbreaking AAA titles, innovative indie games and their creators, to the fiercest villains, the greatest heroes, and even the most unlikely companions, we're here to celebrate it all. But before we dive into the festivities, let's take a moment to reflect on the remarkable growth of Boss Rush and its vibrant community over the past 5 years.
For many, content creation can feel very overwhelming, let me tell you. Questions like, where do I start? Or what tools do I need? What should I focus on? Often pop up as we listen to podcasts, scroll through Instagram, scroll through TikTok and everything else, or watch our favorite creators on YouTube and Twitch. The Boss Rush community has provided that support and guidance as we explore and tap into our own creativity. So Celeste, there's something I don't know about you, is how did you get involved with Boss Rush?
All right, so I was asked to discuss some new PlayStation games with Ed and Corey in the summer of 2020. And then I began helping with Nintendo POW Block and 1v1, the creator interview series. And I also helped Ed host Talk the Walk, a walking sim and virtual novel series. How about you, Andre? How did you get involved?
Well, for me, I'm a big podcast guy, and when I was a really big Destiny player, I was kind of scrolling through podcasts, and I saw this one podcast called Tower Casuals, and I was like, sure, I'll listen to that. And then from there, I listened. I binged a lot of the episodes, and then I found Corey and Josh on socials. I reached out and said, hey, I'm a fan of the podcast. And then we connected, and then we started playing Destiny. And then from there, the rest is honestly history. And that's kind of how I'm here, is through the love of gaming. So it's kind of a beautiful full circle moment.
I love that. And so speaking of gaming, what is the first video game you remember playing, and did you ever complete it?
Jogging this memory is real fun. The first game that I can honestly really picture that I played, I probably played a lot more before, but I can't recall them. But the one that always stuck out to me and kind of still does is, if anyone knows the game I'm talking about, you'll understand the reason. It's called Legend of Dragoon. It was for the PlayStation 1. And I have told myself and many other friends of mine that PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, PC, Xbox, every other console, this game is my all-time favorite game I've ever played. I've gotten to the ending of the game multiple times, but then when I get to the final boss, I will just restart the game with a new party because I just love the journey so much. It has 4 discs. and I've gotten through all 4 deaths probably like 3 times, and then I'll get to the end and go, well, time to start over again, and I'll just restart it. And it's from the soundtrack to the story to the combat, all-time favorite game. If anyone is out there and they worked on it, please remake it. That's all I'm asking. Please.
And you completed it.
So I've never beaten this game only, and it makes sense to me, but I think it's a beautiful thing. I've never beaten this game because I never want it to end. Does that make sense? Like I've gotten to the final boss so many times, and then I've always been like, I don't want this to end, so I'll just restart it. And I could go back to any of my save files and I could beat it, but I'm like, I don't want this to ever end. So I hold that in my heart, and I'm like, I might beat it one day, but right now it's kind of living rent free in my heart.
I love that. I love hearing stories like that.
Yeah, I think it's cute, but I've told some friends and they're like, just beat the game. And I'm like, I can't. But speaking of games, what is a game that, what's a game that came out that was all the rave for everyone, but you tried it and you were like, not the game for me, and you maybe got like questioned, like, oh my god, why don't you think it's good? Like, have you ever had a game come out that worldwide it's very like hyped, but then you were like, meh, it's okay?
Oh gosh, putting me on the spot, Andre. People are gonna come out with pitchforks.
All the torches.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know if it's fair. I don't know if this answers your question or falls into the category, but I have actually never played a traditional Pokemon game. My 2 younger sisters are huge Pokemon fans. I played Pokemon Stadium, I played Pokemon Snap, and I would watch them play on their Game Boy Colors, but I just have not played a traditional one, and my husband's like, you got to try. Come on, I think you would like it. I used to watch the cartoon. It's not that, I don't know if it was overhyped, just didn't speak to me, but
fair.
But Andre, based on our conversation, I think we've both been involved in this community for a long time, both Boss Rush and the gaming community. And I can tell that we're both big fans of the people in this community.
Yes.
So I have turned to acting as more of an occasional guest and a sideline supporter. And I continue to see so many kind, passionate, and fun people involved in the Boss Rush community. And that's honestly what drew me in when I first was invited to record with Corey and Ed. And it's why I consider so many folks my good friends.
I think for me, again, when I reached out to Corey and Josh, I think nowadays, people in gaming, it's a little different than how it was back then. And I just think the one thing that drew me into the Boss Rush family as a whole is when I did my first episode, everyone was just super kind. We all had a lot in common, and there was no like negativity as how I noticed there is today with gaming. It's when you find people that can just vibe with you about certain games. Nowadays, it's very rare to find that. I find it's very rare to find someone who, say, if we have different opinions, we can still be friends and not be like, oh, well, you're silly for thinking that, right? So I think that's what drew me in, especially with Josh and Corey, is just like having a social group of just people who think like me with gaming.
It's awesome. It's awesome. What do you think the community is going to say about all this?
I think the community will agree. It might just be me, but I just think when a new game is like coming out, I see a lot of negative comments on like socials, but whenever I see Boss Rush people talk about it, it's like a ray of sunshine and not just a cloud of rain. And I'm like, that's why you're my people.
I am so excited to be a part of this Boss Rush community of people in this game industry, professionals, streamers, content creators, people who just love games. The Boss Rush community has connected so many people, given so many people a platform, told so many wonderful stories about, our lives as people that love video games. And again, I'm just so happy to be a part of that community and being able to contribute back on a night like this means the world to me.
For me, the Boss Rush community is like family. It was at PAX West, I believe it was. Yeah, it was at PAX West. And I was there by myself. And they treated me like family. They invited me to hang out with them. And it was really fun. And I'll never forget that. And always be grateful for the fact that they treat me like family and always continue to treat me like family. And it's one of the reasons I like going to PAX is to see my Boss Rush family.
I would like to thank the people in this community and in my life to have brought me to this position. And I am forever grateful for them.
Thank you to the entire community for being there for WASD and beyond since we first started. You guys really pushed us and drove us to continue to make content when it didn't seem feasible to make content a lot of the time. You guys have been the best since day one, and we greatly appreciate that. And something we'll never forget, and the friendship will always keep, I hope.
I want to say thank you to the Boss Rush community for being an amazing voice for the world of games, nerd culture, and bringing people together. You have great connections with the development community, your team, and also the world of games. What you bring together with Boss Rush and the other podcasting communities is amazing. I'm so happy to be part of the Boss Rush culture.
Boss Rush community, you guys are amazing. I mean, look, you guys, if it wasn't for you, this wouldn't be happening. And the Bossies and all these boss keys that are being handed out and all these games that have been reviewed, looked at, and covered, all are empowered. You know, the team at Boss Rush is empowered by you. And I just want to say thank you guys, and let's keep it going. I'm looking forward to the 2025 Bossies.
I just want to give a shout out to the Boss Rush crew. They were all great. Hanging out at PAX again was wonderful. Having Stephanie on the panel and being my opposition, ton of fun. You know, we'll see how that competition went out, but still great competitors. Fantastic podcast. Listen every week to multiple shows. I love Boss Rush, and I hope you all do as well.
So I'm so thankful to be a part of the Boss Rush community. Everyone is so wonderful, and I've had so much fun anytime that I've engaged with the community or been a part of the show. So thanks everyone out there.
Boss Rush Network is the definition of a great podcast and community network of gamers and geeks and just all those kind of things that we love. And the community is a perfect reflection of that. I love the Boss Rush Network.
The Boss Rush community and group of content creators that they have under their umbrella are some of the best around. They've been kind and generous to me and Nick and myself specifically, even back in the days of Diggity, which was my podcast prior to this. And they've been there pretty much since the beginning and have been welcoming. The community is fantastic. They always engage with us whenever we post anything. Just truly some of the kindest people out there, and we're blessed to have them in our lives.
Man, what is there I guess to not say? I feel like Boss Rush is what I want so many people to find and it's what I want people to think about when they think of gaming communities, you know, people who are totally passionate freaks about weird games and who disagree a lot but still come together and do it anyway. It's the place that I tell people to go for insights on gaming and to get a broad sort of swath of perspectives and a lot of like really informed people who I don't know there's no way that I could keep up with it in the way that people at Boss Rush do, but I feel really like it's a special place, and it's grown in a really, really awesome way, at least since I've been following. So cheers to many more.
So this community, like you said, Andre, and as we've heard from the amazing people that have just contributed, it's always been a place of encouragement. Fresh ideas are embraced. Individuals are celebrated for who they are, and every unique experience is valued. It's also helping inspire a new generation of gamers to just be themselves, to share their passion for games, just as we did when we first picked up our first controller. and immerse ourselves in the worlds of our favorite characters, letting our imagination soar.
I agree. I agree. Watching kids discover the magic of video games today might be different from when we were growing up, and that's fair. I can personally say watching my kids get into gaming now is a really cool full circle experience. Whether they're mastering the cheeky jump in Astrobot or Mario, or fighting the victory for the first place in Fortnite, or my personal favorite, conquering a master raid in Destiny, these milestones are always worth celebrating.
I agree. And if you don't believe us, see for yourself in this segment presented by the kids of Boss Rush.
So, hi, I'm Derek, and one of my favorite moments in gaming this year was OG Chapter 1 season of Fortnite released. That very much inspired me because that's when I started playing with my dad, and I really loved it. One of my other favorite moments from Fortnite is when they remixed Chapter 2, which was very interesting because they added a bunch of collabs like Snoop Dogg. Also, I started to join my school's esports team. You could pick between Mario Kart or Smash, and I picked Super Smash Brothers because I really love it. My main is, it's like, I forget what the name is. It's the Ice Climbers. I love the Ice Climbers, and I'm really good at like their tornado move. I'm really good at that. So for the past month and a half I've been doing it. We're having our first official match in January. I really like to play Roblox because it's multiple games in one. So like, let's say I'm not really feeling a shooter game. I can also play just like a fun role play game, anything really. I can also create worlds. It's so like creative, and it's kind of like a really good version of Scratch, which is what we use at our school. Yeah, that's probably my top 3 games of the year.
Hello, my name's Cole. One of my favorite games is Roblox. I play it with my friend. His name's Leo. I play Minecraft with him. I play Fortnite with him. I did like Halo a little bit because I used to do a lot of stories with my brother, and that's probably those 2 of my favorite games. I like some different crochet YouTubers. I like Nick, he's a cooking YouTuber, and I do like a little bit Mr. Beast, a little bit. I like Xbox, and I want to get a PlayStation and an Oculus. Video games help. It helps calm people down. Like, it helps me, like, different games can help me calm down, and I can play with my friends, like, a lot. And there's a lot of different like games that people make, and a lot of really good games.
Hi there, my name's Stephanie, and this is
Nikolai!
Nikolai, how old are you?
9.00111.
Now, Nikolai, what do you like about video games?
I like about video games that people have such creative ideas. One person even made a replica. You can buy it on Amazon if you want. Yeah, and also like Mario Kart, that you get a race, and there's so many cool details you can play. Yeah. And also other games, some wholesome games, and the indie directs are also part of the game industry.
How do you know about wholesome games and the indie direct?
Because I learned about the industry of video games, that they make over 2 times the one as the films from the movie. Isn't that a cool fact? That means they made over $99.6 million.
Don't fact check that.
It's true.
Let's end with a quick debate. Who is the superior Mario brother?
I know who the superior Mario brother is. It's Mario.
Luigi.
Mario.
Luigi.
Mario.
Luigi! Luigi can jump higher.
Mario is tougher.
Ah, well, Luigi might be a scaredy cat, but he overcomes his fears.
No, he doesn't. Mario's the strongest, and he can do that.
So the debate shall continue, but until then, cheers, and
until then, Mario's the best.
Hi, I'm Maddie, and I really like Rosalina. There's Peach, Daisy, and Pauline, and Toadette from Mario Kart and Mario Party, and all the Mario games that we played so far. And I also like that Yoshi game where you have to go to dark, spooky caves and you have to try to get a key so you can pass it, then go to another level. Sometimes my dad wakes me up when he does his podcasts.
What's your favorite game to play? Elsa Anna. Why do you think playing games is so much fun?
Because I did the math.
What's the funniest thing that happened while you were playing a game?
I guess I'm Lodi. I'm Lodi. I am Lodi. I'm Lodi on it. And Lodi hours.
If you could make up a game, what would your game be about?
Yeah. I will do it.
It would be a Barbie Dreamhouse game. What's your favorite game to play?
My favorite game in the whole entire world is to play Roblox. Whenever I'm like playing a funny Roblox game and I see something really funny, I laugh to it a lot.
Who do you like playing games with the most?
My mom, because it's always fun to stream with her a lot.
If you could make up a game, what would it be about?
It would be about like puppies, kittens, like cute animals.
Why do you think playing games is so much fun?
Because if you're really bored at home and you don't know what to do and you don't really like playing with your toys a lot, you could just ask an adult to play it on electronic and then you have a lot of fun.
Tell me who your favorite Mario character is.
Bowser Jr.
Bowser Jr.? Why?
I like him. Yoshi is green.
Who are his friends?
Yoshi and Yoshi.
Which one's your favorite?
This one.
Yeah, why?
Because I like him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play Mario Kart now.
You want to play Mario Kart now?
Yeah.
You know what, Celeste? Sometimes I still feel like these kids do, and I'm an adult, which is crazy. As we wrap up this pre-show, let's take a moment to reflect on some of the team's favorite moments and highlights from 2024.
The team had an incredible year. And some of the highlights I'm thinking of are attending PAX East, PAX West together. Many for the first time. Many of the community and the members of Boss Rush, this is their first time at those events. And they got to meet their favorite developers and their creators. They conducted interviews and so much more. Andre, did anything stick out for you this year?
Yes. I made the heartbreaking call to sell my first gaming PC, and I actually bought a Steam Deck with that money that I sold my PC. And it was very hard for me because that was my first PC I ever built. But then when I got my Steam Deck, I learned to fall in love with handhelds, and from there, I don't think I've stopped playing my Steam Deck a single day. It's right here, and I play it almost every chance I can get, and it's one of the greatest, probably the greatest gaming experience I've had this year so far.
And, you know, I'm going to have to say that Stephanie Klimov probably inspired that decision.
For
I know
sure,
she loves her Steam Deck.
It is a great piece of tech, and I couldn't be happier. But what about you, Celeste? Did anything stand out for you?
For me in the community, I would have to say it would be seeing the crew head to the PAX events this year. I know we mentioned it earlier, but I was so happy for them. It felt like I was there virtually. I wanted to give them all a hug. I've seen a few of them in person in real life. And it's so great. Just give everybody a high five and feel their spirit. And it was also just so cool to see them at these PAX events connect with the other creators they support. So let's revisit the team's most cherished moments and milestones of 2024, including one member's full circle moment after almost a decade of content creation.
Wow, 2024 for me. One of my favorite moments is definitely going to PAX East and PAX West, but PAX East, of meeting the team. Definitely, and just having those good talks and like the interviews with different developers, and meeting Kim Hawkins, and even meeting Matt Storm for the first time, and other people. Like PAX East was just like everything. And same with PAX West, meeting new people, talking again with the level 1 crew, like after meeting them at PAX East, and just having a great time. My second one definitely is while at PAX West, going to the trivia night and supporting Stephanie. It was fun to see our friends up there and supporting Stephanie up there. My final favorite thing this year was being able to record Nintendo Power Block with all, just not only Corey, but with other friends like with Cordy, Josh, Frankenstein, and Snurts, and just all of these. It's always a honor and a pleasure. So just those three, everybody, are some of my highlights for 2024, and I'm excited to see what comes for 2025.
2024 has been it's been a great year, I would say, in terms of growth in the Boss Rush, as well as growth in my own personal community. I remember Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming out, and just being able to see those characters again, and to hear them, and to explore the wonderful world that Final Fantasy VII is. It's like, it was a real magical moment. In terms of some of my other favorite moments, I really enjoyed my time at PAX. I feel like I grew a lot as a creator, and got to meet really amazing people. Like, first off, a lot of us have met each other for the first time, but yet it didn't feel like it was the first time. It felt like we were family, just seeing each other again after maybe just a short hiatus apart. But it was really awesome. It was cool that we were all able to get along, and it was awesome to just meet various people and build up on friendships with people from Toge Productions and Kim Chico, Jenny. Getting to meet her was absolutely fantastic, and just other people that we've gotten to know both through PAX East, and then we gotten to know better at PAX West. It's something I've always wanted, was to have friends in a community that love video games as much as I do, and to finally be around those people, it felt good.
I just want to go ahead and just talk about 2024 real quickly. For me playing Tekken 8 to playing the online beta test for Monster Hunter Wilds, and getting excited for a 2025 game and things like that. All the innovations in hardware, man, what a phenomenal year for handheld PCs, and the shift to mobile PC gaming. I'll be honest with you, as a tech guy and IT person, I was wondering if this was something that was going to work, and I'm pleasantly surprised that it is. It feels like it's here to stay. It's getting more entrenched in gaming community and stuff like that. Yeah, that's definitely a high for me. I have my ROG Ally X, and I've thought about buying a Steam Deck just to say, I want to try the other side of the equation and stuff like that, but. It's fun, and I love hardware and tech, and that's been a highlight for me, especially just I get to play all these hardcore AAA titles, kicked off in bed, or laying on the floor and whatnot, and not having to worry about a big ass screen and stuff like that. Another one for me, and this is more to my co-hosts. You guys made this a really wonderful year. Year after year, it's always wonderful and stuff like that. But I feel like there was some real magic in 2024. So I love and appreciate you guys, and I love and appreciate just the Boss Rush family and community and stuff like that.
2024 came through in a whirlwind. I've made lots of wonderful memories, and some worth noting that I'm sure you've heard already were my experiences at PAX East and at West. got to hang out with my group of friends, those that I interact with primarily online, so seeing them in person is truly a treat. Despite the way we work and live today, I work from home. I communicate with my Boss Rush community from home. It still does not beat the in-person experience. Being able to collaborate with other content creators and being part of a panel. I was part of a panel for the first time ever. Getting that special guest badge was such a treat, such a delight. Even though definitely not at the same level, but technically I took a screenshot from the PAX West website where I'm in the same grouping as other high-profile people in the gaming industry. The world works in funny ways. Through my second job, I somehow made connections to be able to get in touch with Nick Apostolides. Got to get him on the show here at the Boss Rush podcast and really enjoyed having a conversation with him and just talk about games. So those were some highlights for 2024 for me.
It was just a great year for the team overall. I got to meet my team for the first time, most of them anyway. I met several friends, online friends for the first time. You know, they mean a lot to me. They've meant a lot to me for so long. And the fact that, you know, they're real, tangible people and not just stuck in this little Zencaster window. It really meant a lot that we got to do that. We've got to interview some amazing people like Jeff Gardner and James Montagna. We got to interview Billy Basso, who made one of the biggest indie hits of the year. I got to interview Sean Velasco of Yacht Club, one of the dreams of mine since I started doing this. Shovel Knight is one of my favorite indie games, and I will never, ever thank Celia enough for setting that up. I met a lot of other great people this year, a lot of people that I've looked up to over the years. I met the Nextlander team, Giant Bomb. You know, I think anybody who looks at podcasts or Let's Plays, you can point all the way back to Giant Bomb. The fact that I got to meet them and talk to them, and when Vinny made me do the opening to our podcast, which sounds an awful lot like the Nextlander podcast, I met Lord Cognito, someone I've looked up to for several years at this point. I met Greg Miller for the first time, which was a huge inspiration for me doing content in the first place. That brings me to the biggest moment of 2024 for me personally. For those of you who don't know, my first podcast was the Destiny podcast called DNA Weekly Strike. It ran from 2015 to 20 that I co-hosted with my friend Brian, and Destiny is just a big factor of why I'm here and why, you know, many of you know me in a way. So it was a real full circle moment when the Accolades trailer for The Final Shape came out. Our 5-star review of The Final Shape was featured at the end. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And for us, being a small outlet, for someone who's been trying to do this for 10 years, to finally see something that we did in a trailer like Destiny, a game as big as Destiny, I don't know if that moment's ever gonna be topped, to be honest, in terms of content creation for me. I know that a lot of the developers there, or former developers and employees, have kind of had a rough go of it over the last couple years, and you know, that's kind of seemingly changed the landscape of Bungie. But for me, that moment, that true full circle moment, probably the biggest moment in content creation for me ever.
These are some great moments from the past year, but it doesn't stop here. We're only just getting started. The 2024 Bossies, a celebration of video games, begins in a few short minutes. Andre, it's been a pleasure hosting this pre-show with you.
Celeste, I have had such a great time. I had a lot of fun hosting this with you as well.
Well, everyone, if you'd like to keep up with us, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter/X, and Blue Sky at FairyCrypt, FAERIECRYPT. You can also check out Read Only Magazine at Read Only Magazine on Instagram and visit readonlymagazine.com. We'd love to read your pitches for future issues and have you enjoy what we have out there right now. What about you, Andre?
YouTube, X/Blue Sky, Instagram, and I believe TikTok as well, at Jedi Master Banks, JediMasterBinkz. On YouTube, there's a lot of Steam Deck stuff, so get prepared. And on Instagram, it's a lot of just kind of my life. As I mentioned, I do photography, so it's a lot of just kind of slice of life stuff. And then on Blue Sky, I'm just trying to just connect with other people.
I think we'll see, each other on different Boss Rush events, and support Boss Rush by heading over to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. On behalf of myself, my co-host Andre Wilson, and everyone at the Boss Rush Network, Boss Rush Media, and the Boss Rush community, thank you for joining us for the 2024 Bossies pre-show event. Now, it's time to grab some snacks, drinks, and your loved ones, and enjoy the 2024 Bossies, a celebration of video games. Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Hello everybody, welcome to the 2024 Bossies, a celebration of video games. I am a co-founder and CEO of Boss Rush Media and the Boss Rush Network, Corey Dierig, and tonight we are celebrating the games, the developers, our friends, fellow creators, and colleagues in the industry. Before we get started tonight, I want to thank Celeste and Andre for hosting the pre-show. It was a great event, a lot of work went into it, and a lot of effort went into putting that together, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate both of them for volunteering to do that. It was great. I love them both dearly, and you'll see them a little bit later on in the show. But before the main event happens, I also want to thank everybody else out there who said yes to participating in this year's Bossies. I did the thing where you send out a lot of invitations and thinking half of the people won't respond and half the people will say no. And the overwhelming majority of people said yes. And so I want to thank everybody. This is a big deal for us as a team. This is our second year doing this, and it has become something that we look forward to. We look forward to putting it together. We look forward to voting. We look forward to playing the new games each year to vote on the following year. So I just want to thank everybody, especially the people who are industry veterans who have been doing this professionally for a long time, who could have just ignored the call, and yet here they are helping us, presenting an award or showing off a game, or telling us about their top games of the year. It's so appreciative. Our entire team appreciates it. Our entire team thanks you all for being here. The show wouldn't be what it is without you, and I cannot tell you how thankful I am. I hope you enjoyed the pre-show. The main event will begin in just a few minutes, and we'll see you there. Enjoy the 2024 Bossies, a celebration of video games.
Yo, that's the homie Sonic. I'm Nelly, former co-host of Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast. You can catch me on X, Planet Nelly, N3LLIE. You can also catch me on Blue Sky under Planet Nelly, N3LLIE. And you could also catch me on Twitch, Bradface_87. One of the biggest highlights for me would be meeting the Boss Rush crew at PAX West. I always felt like we were close, but meeting them in person, that was awesome. Another big highlight for me of this year would be meeting the cast for Red Dead Redemption, and also playing Red Dead Redemption 2 because I did not play it when it was first released. I want to give a big shout out to Corey, Stephanie, and David, and all of the Boss Rush crew for inviting me to do this video. And I will see y'all on the other side in 2025.
Hi, I'm Galatrad.
And I'm Bex.
And we are the hosts of another Pokemon podcast, and you're watching the Bossies.
Woo!
Bex, do you want to talk about your favorite gaming experience of 2024?
Yeah, so my experience came a little late this year. It came with the release of Infinity Nikki.
which I have been playing every single day since it came out on my PlayStation.
Yeah, and mine was the release of Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which I thoroughly enjoyed. The return to 2D Zelda and the puzzle aspects and traveling the world of Hyrule on the flying tile. Best Echo in the game. All right, enjoy the Bossies.
Hey guys, I'm Justin Skirbo from QuickRate.io, your premier destination to find game recommendations from other players just like you. And I'm excited to be here as part of the Bossies 2024. We were lucky enough to meet Corey and Steph and the gang at PAX East 2023, where we were exhibiting there, and we had all of the attendees of the show floor come through, take their gaming profile, figure out what other gamers are like them and what they were enjoying on the show floor. It was an awesome experience, and afterwards we got to spend some time with Corey, Steph, and the gang on the Boss Rush podcast, where we got to talk about the experience, and it was just awesome. But the question for now is, what were my top 3 experiences this year? Definitely got to be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Me and the gang really loved our time with Helldivers 2, but above all else, it had to be Astrobot. That game is amazing, and I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Corey and Steph and everyone, for inviting us to be a part of the Bossies 2024, and we look forward to seeing what you guys do next year.
Hello everybody, welcome to the 2024 Bossies, a celebration of video games presented by Boss Rush Media and the Boss Rush Network. I'm your host, Corey Dierig, and alongside me tonight are some of my best friends, colleagues, fellow creators, developers, and many others who have inspired us along the way. We have an incredible show lined up for you tonight, packed with the games you voted on as some of the best in 2024 in storytelling, design, performance, community, and more. And of course, we'll reveal which game will take home the big boss key for Boss Rush Game of the Year. Before we head into the celebration, let's take a moment to introduce the Boss Rush team who will be hosting tonight's festivities. Stephanie Klimov, Vice President of Media Relations for Boss Rush Media and the Boss Rush Network, and a host of the Boss Rush podcast and Spotlight interviews. David Lasby, Vice President of Editorial for Boss Rush Media and Editor-in-Chief of the Boss Rush Network and BossRush.net. Edward Varnell, Co-founder and Nintendo Content Director for Boss Rush Media and host of Nintendo Pow Block. LaRon Dawkins, Vice President of Culture, Director of Technology for Boss Rush Media, and the host of the Boss Rush Podcast and Boss Rush After Dark. Josh Finney, Xbox and Destiny 2 Content Director at Boss Rush Media and host of Xbox Casuals and Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. Patrick Klein, Director of Developer Outreach and host of Boss Rush Video Game Book Club and the Boss Rush Podcast. Matthew Keel, podcast host for Boss Rush Media and part of the Boss Rush Podcast and Boss Rush After Dark teams. We're here to celebrate our shared passion for games with our friends, fans, creators, and developers from around the globe in a way we believe an award show should be done. The trailers we show tonight have been handpicked by our team to highlight some of our favorite games of the year, as well as some of the amazing developers and publishers we've met along the way.
One of our primary goals at Boss Rush this year was to unify our teams and align our vision. We've worked hard to ensure that our video and podcast team, social media team, and writing team are working together as a cohesive unit, sharing the same goals, upholding the same work ethic, and developing a consistent message.
Tonight, members of our writing staff will join us to present and co-host each segment, reinforcing our message of unity. While not all of our talented writers could be here for this special night, we want them to know how deeply they are valued. Their dedication and creativity are a major reason we've accomplished so much this year. Now, let's meet the incredible writers from Boss Rush who are joining us tonight.
Hi, this is Anna from Anna Likes Words. I'm a staff writer here at Boss Rush, and I've been asked to speak about why the writing team is so special. So I've been a part of a lot of really amazing things in nerd culture over the last, my entire life. And there's something just super unique about writing for Boss Rush. Every single person who comes to write for us has a passion, whether it's for TTRPGs, scroller games, whether it's just being a fan of things in general. And so being surrounded by so many passionate people who are writing because they love something is infectious. It makes me want to do better. It makes me want to write more. It makes me want to explore genres that I normally wouldn't have explored before. It's truly an honor to be here with everybody, and truly an honor to have been asked to speak today.
Hi, my name is Sophie Bayen. I go by he, him pronouns. I am a junior writer here at Boss Rush, and what makes the writing team special to me is how I'm able to express some of my specific niche opinions on video games to a general audience, some conversations that I thought I'd never have with other people to finally happen, and I'm very honored to be a part of this.
Hi, my name is Josh Martinez. I've been here at Boss Rush as a copy editor for about 2 years. I came across Boss Rush on Twitter one day and decided to send in an application to apply. And I've been writing about entertainment, RPGs. Every now and then you might catch a wrestling article from me on the website, which is a big passion of mine. So you can follow me over on Twitter at jmartinez064 and catch me in the Boss Rush Discord.
Hi everyone, I'm Mary Helen Norris, and I have the privilege of being one of the senior writers and copy editors for Boss Rush. I've been with the team for over 2 years and love covering indie games and entertainment pieces. My favorite types of games are farming sims and RPGs, but I'm always open to finding new favorites. Thanks to a LinkedIn post, I found Boss Rush, and over the years I've been blessed to make some dear friends with my fellow teammates here at Boss Rush.
Hi everybody, I'm Shane Kelly, also known as Still Saying Shane. I've been a senior writer for Boss Rush for over 3 years. I've been gaming for well over 30 years, and being a part of Boss Rush Network amplifies my passion for games and writing, giving me a platform to share my ideas and fuel my interests. In a world that is sometimes not always welcoming, I know I can find my self-worth, positivity, and community amongst the talented individuals I call my friends here. If this is what you seek, you will find that and much more. I hope you enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm Block, a former copy editor at Boss Rush, now a contributor, usually doing reviews and news stories, and occasionally on podcasts and other series on the website. You can find me at Block's Gaming Reviews on most social media. I'm currently on X, Facebook. You can mostly find me on YouTube, Block's Gaming Reviews, where I do a series of videos on Trash or Treasure, where I look at good games and bad games and those in between to see exactly where they fall. I also do horror games every single year, and a video game anthology on Final Fantasy is still being worked on. I also like to cover RPGs in my spare time.
Right. Hi, my name is Yari C, and I'm a member of Boss Rush Media. I am one of our associate writers as well as a member of our social media team. My favorite things to write about are actually match 3 games, deck builders, and roguelites. I got involved because I was looking to grow my writing skills and saw a job post on LinkedIn, interviewed, and got in. One of the things I really love about Boss Rush is the camaraderie that we built. There are several mentors that I have, several people who I know I can go to bounce off ideas, and just the ways that I've grown in my skill as a writer.
Video games have come a long way from being seen as simple entertainment for kids. Today, they transcend generations, offering experiences that not only entertain but also challenge and inspire gamers of all ages. They've become a universal medium for creativity, innovation, and storytelling.
More than just entertainment, video games connect us with people across the world. They allow us to explore incredible new worlds, experience unforgettable stories, and bond with friends, no matter the distance. The power to bring people together is what makes gaming such a unique and meaningful art form.
Video games push us to think critically, solve puzzles, and tackle complex challenges. Whether it's working out the perfect strategy to beat a tough boss or finding a moment of escape during life's toughest days, games help us navigate life's storms and emerge stronger.
Gaming isn't just about playing, it's about connection. The shared experiences in games create lifelong memories and strengthen friendships in ways few other mediums can. Whether you're gaming in the same room or online, these moments bring people closer together in truly special ways.
Tonight, we're here to honor the developers, artists, writers, and creators who crafted this year's incredible games. Their passion and dedication continue to inspire us all, and tonight we celebrate the impact of their hard work and creativity.
But this night isn't just about the award winners. Our heartfelt gratitude goes to every game developer, content creator, and publisher who poured their passion into the industry this year. Your work drives this medium forward, inspiring countless players and creators.
On behalf of the Boss Rush Network leadership team and Boss Rush Media, thank you for joining us tonight. We've come so far in just 1 year, and it wouldn't be possible without the support of our friends, fans, colleagues, and the amazing work of the developers themselves. Here's to all of you and a brighter future for the gaming industry.
Now, without further ado, it's time to kick off the 2024 Bossies, a celebration of video games. Enjoy the show.
We cannot start the Bossies without acknowledging the continued plight regarding the layoffs and studio closures in the video game industry. In 2024 alone, there were well over 14,000 jobs relinquished from hardworking employees around the globe, a staggering number that far exceeded those in 2023.
Last year, we all held on to hope that the wave of layoffs in our industry would come to an end. Sadly, those struggles continued. Many talented individuals lost their jobs, sometimes even right after the releases of their games.
It's heartbreaking to think that so many dedicated developers have lost their dream jobs due to factors like poor budgeting, unrealistic expectations, or unfortunate circumstances beyond their control.
In the midst of all the excitement surrounding new game releases, the Boss Rush community recognizes the losses developers have experienced, with a lot of them falling on the backs of a publisher's so-called victories.
We understand that the brilliance of video games lies not just in the final product, but in the people who bring them to life. Developers, actors, designers, and countless others are the crux of this industry, and their passion drives the art form.
Sometimes these situations can feel overwhelming by those affected, but together as a community we can offer vital support until the industry finds its footing.
Finally, to all those who have been affected by these layoffs, we want to express our heartfelt gratitude. Your contributions do not go unnoticed. We see you and we stand with you during these challenging times.
Thank you for delivering our favorite experiences that most take for granted. We hope you all land on your feet soon.
Thank you.
Stephanie, one of the most read and hotly contested articles on bossrush.net is one that debated whether video games are art. Regardless of your stance on the matter, there is no doubt that there is an art to creating a game, from its conception phase to that first pixel to every last note on a soundtrack.
That's right, David. The visual style and music that accompanies us is the secret sauce to full immersion in a game. They carry us through the emotional story beats and cause the hairs on our back of our necks to stand on end. The best part is that there is a massive variety of experiences that await us when we pick up that controller, and the winners of the following categories are shining examples.
What makes storytelling in games truly great is the unique blend of narrative and interactivity. Unlike movies, TV shows, or books, games allow us to actively shape the experience rather than just observe. Each choice, action, and moment impacts the journey, making us integral to what's happening next in its story. Characters feel more personal, the worlds we explore become our own, and the emotional connections run deeper. In games, storytelling isn't static. It evolves with our every decision, offering a unique experience that only the gaming medium can provide. Now let's dive into the nominees for Best Storytelling.
Pretty good idea.
Destiny 2: The Final Shape by Bungie. Final Fantasy VII: Rebirth by Creative Business Unit 1 and Square Enix. Metaphor: ReFantazio by Studio Zero and Atlas. Neva by Nomada Studio. Silent Hill 2 by Bloober Team.
You loved her, didn't you?
And the boss key goes to Metaphor: ReFantazio by Studio Zero and Atlas.
I might end the strife and discrimination that plagued our people across nigh endless years.
A land grotesque as its people. Let us speak of the old vulture's last grasp at power. The tournament for the throne.
Hi, I'm Trina Smith. I'm with the Gamerheads podcast, and you can find us at gamerheadspodcast.com. I met the Boss Rush community when I attended PAX for the first time back in August, and I'm super excited to be here.
And my name is Roger Reichert, also with the Gamerheads podcast, and I first met the Boss Rush Network at PAX East 2 years ago, and we became good friends. So we're really happy to be here.
We are thrilled to be here at the 2024 Bossies to present the Boss Key for Best Art Direction. While the debate over whether video games are art may linger, we can all agree that some titles amaze us with visual styles so unique they stay in our minds forever.
The video game industry gives developers the freedom to flex their creative muscles, offering boundless art styles that can drive a story forward or leave us breathless. Whether it's hand-drawn, cel-shaded, or so realistic that it pulls us into full immersion, the Boss Rush community worked hard to ensure a diverse lineup of nominees for Best Art Direction. And now, without further ado, here are the nominees for Best Art Direction.
Evil Dimer has returned.
Arzette, The Jewel of Faramore by CDI Software.
Neva by Nomada Studio.
Survive the attack.
Metaphor: ReFantazio by Studio Zero and Atlas.
Complex.
If we don't hurry and find a way to get...
Black Myth Wukong by Game Science.
Visions of Mana by Oka Studios and Square
Offer their
Enix.
soul to the goddess. An Olm must journey to the mana tree. The mana of the world is replenished through that Olm sacrifice.
And the Boss Key goes to
The villagers plead to be spared, but I know better than to confront a human.
Metaphor: ReFantazio by Studio Zero and Atlas.
It was the first village to be destroyed by the human menace. I will show you truth, the truth of reality.
I suppose it's only a matter of time until Luis takes the throne. Heed me, O kingless.
Hey y'all, it's Ben Kvalo, the CEO of Midwest Games. It's been so inspirational seeing indie games take center stage across the industry. 2024 was a crazy year for games, and for us as well. We released 4 games this year: The Lullaby of Life, Hive Jump 2 Survivors, Duck Paradox, and Dark Sky. And announced 3 more. Floor is What? The Legend of Babu, and Tomb Water. This is just the start. Truly, great games can come from anywhere, and we can't wait to continue to show that in 2025.
Hello, I am Chris Bergman. I am the founder and CEO of Kvalo Games. We are working on a 4-player co-op beat 'em up called Rah Rah Boom. Please wishlist it on Steam. Corey asked me to guest on his podcast called Boss Rush, and it's wonderful and it's amazing. And then we hung out at PAX East, and then he played Rah Rah, and he's a wonderful human being, and I absolutely love him. My favorite 3 games this year, it's been an awesome year for video games. First and foremost, Balatro, stellar poker roguelike. Obviously, won Indie Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Put about 300 hours into that bad boy. Spent a lot of time with Balatro. Wonderful game. Second, Helldivers 2 kind of came out of nowhere. What a great surprise this year. You run around, hunt alien bugs, get bug juice all over you. It was amazing. And then the third game that I loved this year was Dragon Age Veilguard. Huge BioWare fan. Wonderful to see them come back to form with Veilguard. Incredible game. I'll never finish it because I don't have enough time and I do too many side quests, but it was perfect. Thank you, Corey, Stephanie, and David, as well as the entire Boss Rush team for including myself and Kvalo in the 2024 Bossies. You guys are wonderful, and I hope you have a great award season.
Hi, I'm Chase Bethia, multi-award winning video game composer. I've been working in the industry for over a decade and have shipped about 25 games in my career thus far. You can find out more about me at chasebethia.com. One thing I love about Boss Rush and their community is that they're so consistent about championing the work of people in the industry that do it in a positive way. Today, I am pleased to celebrate the best in video game music with the Boss Rush community, presenting the Boss Key for Best Original Soundtrack. As a multi-award winning video game composer, I recognize the hard work being behind a well-executed score. Whether we realize it or not, music is a vital factor in the gaming experience. Whether it's a high-octane rock and roll to draw adrenaline through your veins, or hack and slash, or lo-fi beats, or roasting a coffee in a story-driven narrative, we as humans have a special connection to music. A memorable game soundtrack resonates in our minds and moves our souls. Moreover, it's an important key to weave a cohesive experience and unlock full immersion whenever we pick up that controller. Here are the nominees for Best Original Soundtrack. Astrobot by Team Asobi. Metaphor Refantasio from Studio Zero and Atlas. Tekken 8 from Bandai Namco. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth by Square Enix. Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake from Team Asano and Square Enix. And the boss key goes to
Sounds like we've lost a few candidates already too. Poor bastards went after something too
Metaphor,
nasty for
Refrantasio from Studio Zero and Atlas.
Feral humans, with people either running or going mad.
What do we believe in, really?
You lot! Enemy attack!
Hitting us while we're asleep is dirty fighting.
Did you hear that? Well, in addition to a cleverly crafted soundtrack, sound design in a video game can make or break a gaming experience. It may not be top of mind, but each crunch of dirt beneath your feet or haunting whispers that snake between the left and right side of your sound system are intentionally crafted to place you in the shoes of the protagonist. Sound design is imperative in establishing the mood of a video game, and sometimes it can also play a role in solving puzzles or avoiding hostile entities. I am pleased to hold the boss key for Best Sound Design. Here are the nominees. Astrobot by Team Asobi. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 by Raven and Treyarch. Destiny 2 The Final Shape by Bungie.
And everyone we know.
Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 by Ninja Theory.
What do you want me to do?
Silent Hill 2 by Bloober
Get
Team.
out of here.
Yeah, you're right.
You said you took everything.
And the boss key goes to
We've come so far, not far enough. Say it. You already tell them.
Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 by Ninja Theory.
What if we get lost forever? What will happen to them? What will happen to you? I will not let them down. She is ready. They know. Go.
Who are these around you, Senua? Those you have saved, or those you led to death?
Well, to us it's clear. Creating these games involve a unique skill set, from concept phase to going gold and beyond. The visuals, animations, engineering, music, and sound design are all essential for guiding us through the emotional moments, epic action, and enhancing the immersion. It's truly a unique form of art that only video games can bring us.
Absolutely. This year has brought us an amazing selection of beautiful games, each offering a variety of experiences for us as players. These nominees and winners are just the tip of the iceberg of incredible experiences in storytelling, puzzle solving, action, and artistry. So congratulations to winners thus far, but we're only just getting started. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hey everyone, I'm Jenny Wyndham, also known as Kimchika across YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. I am one of the organizers behind Wholesome Games, and I've worked in the industry at publishers and studios in a wide variety of roles. I've known the Boss Rush crew for a few years, and I am super excited to be joining in for the 2024 Bossies, and I'm going to be sharing a few of my favorite gaming experiences of the year. Starting with number 3, Fields of Mystria. I sincerely believe it's one of the best farming sims out right now, even in its early access state. Not only does it capture the nostalgia of the original Harvest Moon franchise, but it contributes to the genre in a lot of meaningful ways. Quality of life updates, 90s anime vibes, and an attention to detail and content that shows not only a true love of farming and life sims, but a deep understanding of what makes their player community tick. Number 2, Grun. What I love most about this game is how it blends the rote yet satisfying labor of lawn care along with the more thrilling mystery of figuring out what is happening in this cursed hamlet. Grun encourages you to learn and adjust how you play based on the knowledge you gain each time you go through a weekend of caretaking this mansion's yard. And by the end, you'll feel like a genius speedrunner as you navigate the multiple endings it has in store. For folks who are more apprehensive about horror, don't worry, this is more quirky with a few startling moments rather than true blue scares. And finally, number 1, 1,000 Times Resist. This game plays cinematically. You feel like you're going episodically through a major sci-fi character drama with outstanding voice acting, gorgeous shots, and surreal ways of using time to move back and forth through the narrative. Set in a future where an illness has decimated the population, the world is now made up of teenage clones who worship the All-Mother. There is a dark secret to her rule, though, and the game begins with that reveal and gets more and more wild as it progresses. The game layers heavier topics like identity, family tension, and political resistance with highly relatable and often darkly comedic moments. 1,000 Times Resist moves us through high school to the cosmos and back and trusts us to be able to keep up, and it's one of the best narrative games of 2024, hands down. So those are my top 3 gaming experiences of 2024. Again, I'm Kim Chica, and I cover games, mostly indies, that feature memorable characters, hopeful narratives, and lots of lore to dig into. I've got a video game discussion club podcast and newsletter called Geeks and Grounds, and if you'd like to check it out, you can visit geeksandgrounds.com, and we play a game a month, and we would love to have you. And again, a huge and heartfelt thank you to Corey, Stephanie, David, and the whole Boss Rush team for letting me share with you a little bit of what made 2024 so great for me in gaming, and I can't wait for all of us to experience what 2025 has in store.
Hey everyone, Joey Ferris here. You may know me from my YouTube channel, Ferris Wheel Probe, and today I'm going to talk to you about my top 5 favorite games of 2024 for the Bossies. Number 5 has to be Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. It's just pure Metroidvania goodness. The combat and controls feel just absolutely fantastic, and the vibes all around, the atmosphere, everything about it is just really, really good. And unfortunately, it didn't make enough money because Ubisoft didn't promote this as well as they should have, so if you haven't played Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown yet, you definitely should. On to number 4, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Machine Games blew me out of the water with their interpretation of how an Indiana Jones game should be. It's kind of an immersive sim kind of game, similar to Dishonored. It's more focused on the puzzle solving aspect. There is some adventuring like Uncharted and Tomb Raider, but it's mainly focused on the puzzle solving aspect and, of course, the story. Troy Baker does a fantastic impression of Indiana Jones / Harrison Ford, and the game itself is just great, hence the name, The Great Circle. And moving on to number 3, it's actually Animal Well, this small little indie game made by one person, I believe. I love Metroidvanias, and Animal Well is just a shining example of how to do a Metroidvania right. It's very cryptic too, it doesn't really tell you what to do right away. Yeah, it tells you how to play like the controls and such, but whenever you get an item, you're not exactly sure what to do with that item. I found out with the Frisbee that I could actually stand on the Frisbee midair, and then it'll just project me across the level. It's really fantastic, so definitely play Animal Well. It's really, really good. Number 2 is Silent Hill 2. I did not think Bloober Team could make a worthy remake of one of the best horror games of all time, but they did. The voice acting is incredible, and the atmosphere, once again, I love atmosphere as you can tell, but it just feels like it's just you're straight up in hell throughout this game. The monsters are just absolutely horrifying. I love Silent Hill 2. I was not expecting to love this game as much as I did, so much so it's my number 2 game of the year, but my number 1 game of the year for the Bossies 2024 has to be Astrobot. Like, this game is pure, unabashedly fun. It is not trying to like impress us with amazing graphics or cinematic type cutscenes or anything. It is just a pure platformer with tight controls, great level design, and it's a complete love letter to PlayStation and its IP. Just the fact that this was a game made in only 3 years and not for like $1 billion really makes me think that the industry can learn from a game like Astrobot. Like, you don't need all these fancy bells and whistles. You don't need a huge open world to make an amazing game. You just got to make it fun, man. And that's why Astrobot is my game of the year. Not just for what it is, but for what it represents. So thank you so much for including me in the Bossies 2024. Thanks specifically to Corey, Stephanie, David, and the Boss Rush team for having me and inviting me on this wonderful show. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Bringing our favorite video game characters to life in today's industry is no simple task. It requires that perfect blend of captivating performances, compelling storytelling, and genuine emotion from the actors and narrative designers, all brought to life through stunning visuals and technical expertise of the developers and engineers.
Their interactions with the world and relationships with the other characters add depth, whether through heartfelt drama, laugh-out-loud comedy, or thrilling action. Whether they're heroes, villains, animal companions, or dream husbandos, these characters leave a lasting impact, making us cheer, cry, and reflect long after the credits roll.
To kick things off, we're presenting the Boss Key for Best Villain. A truly compelling villain is more than just an obstacle. They're complex, relatable, and driven by strong motivations. Whether seeking power, revenge, or acting on a twisted sense of justice, their actions feel personal and authentic by drawing players into their story. They also challenge the player's morals and decisions, creating emotional depth and urgency. With gripping backstories, intense dialogue, and epic confrontations, a well-crafted villain leaves a lasting mark, making their defeat feel truly earned. Here are the nominees for Best Villain.
I'm here for you.
Sephiroth, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Louise, Metaphor, ReFantazio. The Witness, Destiny 2, The Final Shape. Varam, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. Overlord Galerius, Unicorn Overlord.
Now then, the hour has come. There are those among Galerius's adherents who willfully chose to betray the queen.
And the Boss Key goes to...
Certainly. It was the first village to be destroyed by the human menace.
Louise, Metaphor, ReFantazio.
I suppose it's only a matter of time until Luis takes the throne.
Heed me, O kingless. It can't be His Majesty. He was dead.
Whosoever have truly earned the greatest
Hey there, folks. We are from Fun and Games Podcast. I'm Jeff Moonen.
And I am Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon.
Fun and Games Podcast is an interview and conversation podcast about video games from an optimistic view of gaming, because every game is somebody's favorite and no one person can play every game that's out there. So that's why we like to have conversations with people in and out of the games industry, and we have our series Side Quests as well.
Yes. Jeff and I do a multitude of things beyond just our podcast, but a brief pitch for Side Quests is in that vein of every game is somebody's favorite. We have folks come on and gush about a game they love and why they love it. Folks from the Boss Rush community, as well as hosts from the various podcasts, have come on or will come on. Spoilers. And so we really love just sharing positive stories of games within the space. And that's kind of the ethos of Fun and Games. And just to briefly plug, I also do a video game podcast called Reignite, which is I guess you could say a podcast, like an actual play podcast or a like play along podcast. We're covering BioWare games. We started with the Mass Effect trilogy, went on to Mass Effect Andromeda, and now we're doing the Dragon Age series. We're currently playing through Dragon Age 2. I do that with the incredible Frankie Bradley Lestrange. Yeah. And you can find that at all places, Reignite Pod.
Yeah, and all of this is part of the Certain POV network. You can find all of those things there, certainpov.com. And in addition to that, I am also a voice actor and just an avid gamer, and really happy to be here and thankful that Boss Rush is having us here to help present the next category.
Yeah, we met the Boss Rush folks. I think I met them first before Jeff got to meet them.
Yes, you did.
And it was through the incredible Dan O'Mac, who I have known since Dan was in high school, and now we're both so old. But Dan introduced me to some of the Boss Rush folks at a PAX several years ago, and I became friends with them online, and then we've connected since and collaborated a bunch, and it's been a blast. And I really love the Boss Rush community. I love the writing that these folks do. I love the community they've curated of folks who just really love games. It's a really positive vibe, and we're excited to be involved in any way. It's always a blast to team up with these folks.
Yeah, and so if you are a huge fan of the Boss Rush Network and this is the first time you're seeing us, well, how appropriate, because we are here to present for the category of Best New Character of the Year.
Yep. With new video games comes fresh new characters. As vehicles for gameplay and story, characters play an important part in an immersive experience.
The best characters are ones we can either relate to on a personal level or evoke empathy from within. Especially in a time where remakes and remasters abound, we want to take the time to acknowledge protagonists that made their debut in 2024.
We are honored to present the nominees for Best New Character.
My name is Zhao.
Zhao.
Shaman of Kenzera.
Tales of Kenzera, Zhao.
I seek my father's return.
Victor Chevalier. Tekken 8. Emi Kimura. Yars Rising. Luis. Metaphor Refantasio. Gory. Gory Cuddly Carnage. And the boss key goes to...
The tragedy of the royal family is only the beginning. So, what would you say to an alliance?
Luis! Metaphor Refantasio!
We couldn't protect him. I'm sorry.
The man I fought beside was not so ruled by anger and malice.
Count Luis gave us a dream to fight for.
So, contestants, are you ready?
So many people are wonderful companions, and that's going to bring us to our next category, which are animal companions. A good animal companion is a welcome part of any journey, blending emotional connection, practical use, and personality. Dog meat offers loyalty and comfort in a broken world. Wolf Link in Breath of the Wild enhances combat and exploration while evoking Twilight Princess nostalgia. Nyx from Star Wars Outlaws cleverly distracts enemies and retrieves items with playful charm. The companions aren't just tools. They're true partners that make the invention more enjoyable. Here are the nominees for Best Animal Companion. Neva. Asan, Dragon Age, The Veilguard. Promaru, Persona 3 Reload. Nyx, Star Wars Outlaws.
Kay and Nyx have been inseparable partners.
Ramco, from Midges and Men.
お前には村の者にもない奇妙な力があるからな。魔物を石に変えて。
And the boss key goes to... Never.
Okay, Chesley. I think it's time.
My heart's in the highlands. My heart is not here. My heart's in the highlands. Not chasing the deer. The hills of the highlands.
Hello, I'm Chrissy Meadows, the narrative designer at Snowhaven Studios, where we make visual novels from murder mystery to acute romance. Although many know me as Husbando Goddess from my undying love of fictional men. I've been making visual novels for at least 4 years now, with that feature charming characters that people can't help fall in love with. I was made aware of Boss Rush Network through Stephanie, who I met at PAX West, where we bonded over the various indie games at the showcase, visual novels, and of course, fictional old men. And as the self-proclaimed Husbando Goddess of the Internet, I have the utmost honor of presenting 2 boss keys dedicated to the best Husbando and best waifu of the year. A lot of attention gets put into video game characters, and when they hit just the right notes, they often become players' new bias, hyperfixation, or in this case, husbando and waifu. And 2024 was filled with charming characters, hot, and even morally corrupt men that players, including myself, couldn't help but fawn over.
This is someone else. Ganja.
Here are the nominees for Husbando of the Year. Kiryu Kazuma, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Lucanus Delamorte, Dragon Age, The Veilguard. Sephiroth, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Van Arkwright, The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak. Victor, Tekken 8. And the boss key goes to
Freeze.
Kiryu Kazuma, Like a Dragon and Infinite Wealth.
High time you met the head of the Barracudas. Name's Dwight.
Barracudas are after me. Akane-san, they're after her too.
But let us not forget the wonderful woman that captured players' attention this year. From pure-hearted mages to badass heroines who had players shouting, "Please step on me!" at their screens. There was a waifu for everyone this year. Here are the nominees for Waifu of the Year. Eric Gainsborough, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Eve, Stellar Blade.
All we must do is complete the mission.
Rosalind, Unicorn Overlord. Sun-Hee, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
This is someone else.
Tifa Lockhart, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And the boss key goes to Tifa Lockhart, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
My name is Leanna Rupert, or Dirty Effin' Hippie, and I am absolutely stoked to be here at the 2024 The Bossies, because we like celebrating games, as you should, because games are cool. You might know me as somebody that's worked in the gaming industry for about 22 years now. I was media with things like Premium Games and Game Informer, or you might know me from my work at Bungie on Destiny 2, or various accessibility or hosting things that I've done through the years, or you might not know me at all, and I just come off as a prattling idiot, which... fair, but very excited to be here. I do a lot of YouTube, a lot of cool kid stuff. That was cringe. I just like talking about games. I like celebrating games, and we should, because games are amazing, and we had a really good year in games. And I feel like even though the online conversations didn't always reflect that, it's important to celebrate that because games are an art form, and we appreciate art in this house. I'm really excited to be a part of this, even just in a small way, just because Corey and I initially met when I was at Bungie as a community manager for Destiny 2. And just that sense of community and getting to formulate really cool relationships and friendships based off of a game experience is incredible. And being able to celebrate games this year is really cool because It has not been an easy time in games. We are at record-breaking layoffs between not even the studios that haven't been mentioned, because a lot of indies never got media attention. Agencies are shutting down left and right, and we are probably close to 36,000 layoffs since 2022, which is a lot. It's a smaller industry. And to still see this art form persevere despite a lot of complications, both with studios sticking up for themselves for better working conditions or taking back some power from publishing hands, which has been years and years and years in the making. There's a lot of heart in making games, and I think that is very much reflected in this year as well, especially with seeing the impact that layoffs and things like that have on that art form and the discussions around that art form. But speaking of that, I gotta say, I'm gonna not shock anybody here if you know me at all and say that some of my favorite experiences. Okay, two. I can't just pick because there's a lot of good ones. The third one will make up for the first two, I promise. I gotta give it to my people at BioWare. Dragon Age Veilguard was everything I wanted. Was it a perfect game? Absolutely not. But it was beautifully told. This game restarted production so many times, more than it should have. Countless layoffs, which are incredibly disheartening. And what they were able to pull together immediately made me go back in for another playthrough. I'm now on my third Rook. The art style, the new way of seeing, being able to see this world through a commoner perspective was very cool to me. So hats off to Dragon Age team. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so much for a new experience. Also, I got to be the basic one. Silent Hill 2, that coming out again and having a new lease on life has been incredible, because even though I am not good with horror games, I love them. And that Silent Hill 2 will never stop making me piss myself, to be honest, but it's totally worth it because trauma. So here's my third one, and this is going to be the redeeming factor. If you have not played it, you need to. It is called, and I got to get my notes so I say this correctly because I always mispronounce it, Sylvia Black Waters by Dread XP, published. It's the publisher. Stroboscope is the developer. That universe is incredible. It's a horror game. If you know me, I love ghost hunting. I went ghost hunting earlier this year. It is the perfect blend of atmospheric storytelling, an FPS shooter experience, exploration, fear of deep under is very real for me, but also with all the alien talk and the water in the ocean this year, come on, it was perfect. It came out this year. Love indie games regardless. You should all play more indies, but they just really perfected being able to tell a tale that crawls under your skin, and you have to spend a lot of time unpacking. And the story was just incredible. But you got ghosts, you got mysterious water, you've got storytelling, you've got lore. It's just, and any game that has EVP machines in it is an okay game in my books. So if you haven't played it, slightly less basic answer, even though you should never apologize for it. You should definitely check out that game because that team did an incredible job. And you should also, again, play more indies. That's just my opinion. I also just want to thank, now that I've kind of rambled too much and way over my time limit, please don't hit me with the please wrap it up sign. But just want to say, to the Boss Rush fam, Stephanie, Corey, David, all of the entire team, you're amazing. The Boss Rush media team is incredible. They love games. It's very evident how much they love games. They love the communities around games. They love people that make games. They love the experience themselves. They're just an incredible group of people. Very proud of you. And thank you for letting me be a part of this. This is awesome. If for some reason you like this brand rambling, which you should probably get that checked out, you can find me anywhere, Dirty F and Hippie. I'm on YouTube. I'm going to be starting streaming soon again. I've got a lot of thoughts and opinions on things like Blue Sky and Twitter and Instagram and all that. But if you like it, you don't got to put a ring on it, but feel free to hit me up on socials if you want, or if you just want somebody to talk Dragon Age with, because I'm down. But thank you guys so much again for letting me be a part of this, and let's get on with the show.
I'm honored to present the Boss Key for Best Hero of 2024. A great video game hero leaves a lasting impression with a compelling backstory, relatable motivations, and strong personality. They pull us into their journey, making us eager to fight alongside them and face their challenges. Their unique abilities and gameplay mechanics adds excitement, while their growth and struggles make them memorable and relatable. The best heroes inspire us, shape the world they inhabit, and often become iconic in their own right in gaming's history. Here are the nominees for Best Hero in 2024. Cade 6 from Destiny 2, The Final Shape. Ichiban from Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Senua from Senua Saga, Hellblade 2. Will from Metaphor Refantatio. Zhao from Tales of Kanzara, Zhao. Zelda from The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. And the Boss Key goes to Zelda from The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom.
Hi, this is Lala from Togi Productions. I just wanted to say thank you to Boss Rush for inviting us to be part of the 2024 Bossies, a celebration of video game. So Boss Rush Media and Network has been an amazing supportive partner to us, and it means a lot to be part of this celebration. So once again, thank you to Boss Rush Network for being awesome. Also, we have some exciting news for you. Togi Productions is celebrating its anniversary, and we want you to join the fun. The Togi Productions Anniversary Direct is happening on January 17th, 10 a.m. Pacific Time on Togi Productions YouTube channel. So get ready for a broadcast filled with exciting game announcements and sneak peeks on what we've been working on. Make sure to check out our Anniversary Direct and see you there!
Hi everyone, I'm Boldy Wei, founder, CEO, and tyrannical overlord of WayForward. Thank you, Corey, and everyone at the Boss Rush podcast for including us in this year's Bossies. WayForward had a truly amazing 2024 that started with our update to a classic gaming series, Contra Operation Galuga, and continued with games like Rose and Camellia Collection, Yars Rising, Clock Tower Rewind, Retro Realms Ash vs. Evil Dead, and Retro Realms Halloween. We also released some exciting new add-on content such as Bloodstained Classic Mode 2 and the River City Girls 2 Double Dragon DLC. 2025 is WayForward's 35th anniversary, and it just might be our best year yet, with Shantae Advance Risky Revolution finally getting into players' hands, We are also re-releasing Sigma Star Saga, and not only for PC and modern consoles, but for the actual Game Boy Advance as well. And of course, we've got a bunch of unannounced projects in development too. I wish I could tell you more, but, you know, NDAs. Thank you to the WayForward fans for supporting us this past year, and we hope you'll enjoy our upcoming games in 2025. We'll be back here on the Boss Rush podcast to chat about them as they're announced. See you then!
Hello friends, my name is Patrick Nisley and I'm with One Frog Games. I'm super excited to show you a trailer for our debut indie game, Monochrome Heights. Monochrome Heights is a tough-as-nails 2D pixel art vertical platformer with a color swapping mechanic, where you have to swap between black and white to climb upwards and avoid obstacles. The game's going to be releasing in the first half of 2025. I want to give a special thanks to the whole Boss Rush community for all of your support along the way. I hope that everyone has a wonderful year. Thanks again. I really appreciate it. Take care.
Meet Happy the robot. Happy's on a mission to climb Layla's tower. To do so, Happy will have to run, jump, slide, and phase all the way to the top. It won't be easy. Help guide Happy on their journey upwards in Monochrome Heights.
A beloved character that is brought to life on screen is only as incredible as the actor who plays them. Gone are the days of monotone sentences or fragmented conversations. Quality voice acting and motion capture play a vital role in the modern gaming experience, and the players demand excellence. So many hardworking actors poured their heart and soul into video game characters that make the experience more immersive and more memorable. I'm here to present the boss key to one of these fantastic actors. And the nominees are
Bring me the black materia.
Cloud,
Brianna White as
whatever
Aerith
happens,
Gainsborough,
I'm here for you.
Mary died of that death.
Luke Roberts as James Sunderland, Melina Juergens as Senua, Troy Baker as Indiana Jones,
How often it comes in handy.
Nathan Fillion as Cade Six,
Guardians, ghosts, the traveler.
and the boss key goes to
You're messing with powers beyond your control.
Troy Baker as Indiana Jones,
Are you sure about this?
Don't worry, I do this all the time. Find a way out before we're crushed.
I'm excited to be here at the Bossies presenting the Boss Key for the award we've all been waiting for. We've learned about the best villains, the hottest husbandos and waifus, the biggest heroes, and now it's time to show some love to the real heroes of our stories, those party members or side characters that seal the show with their comic relief, their self-doubt, their awkwardness, and their own flavor of stories. I'm here to give one of these bad, bumbling best buddies our most unlikely hero and biggest dork of 2024. These characters steal our hearts by overcoming their self-doubt and embracing their uniqueness, revealing surprising skills or knowledge that prove essential in tough situations, showing that anyone can be a hero no matter how unlikely they seem at first. This transformation makes them relatable and inspires us to see a bit of ourselves in their journey. Here are the nominees for Most Unlikely Hero / Biggest Dork. Yuffie Kisaragi, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Martial Law, Tekken 8. Catherine Portillo, Until Then. Luigi, Mario and Luigi Brothership. Ryoma Sakamoto, Rise of the Ronin. And the Boss Key goes to Luigi, Mario and Luigi Brothership. As you can see, creating the memorable characters of the past year is a true achievement, coming in all shapes and sizes. They blend strong performances, great storytelling, and impressive visual design.
The teamwork between actors, writers, and developers helps players connect with the characters in meaningful, sometimes unexpected ways. Whether through drama, humor, or action, these characters make the year's experiences unforgettable. When done well, they don't just tell a story, they let us live it, leaving us thinking about them long after the game ends.
Hi, Brian Shea here, host of the All Things Nintendo podcast and former director at Game Informer magazine. Thank you so much to the team at Boss Rush for including me in the Bossies 2024. Here to share my top 3 games of the year that we just concluded. I think it was actually a very strong year, despite the fact that we didn't have these major tentpole releases. But it was a very hotly contested spot at the top of my Game of the Year list. But without further ado, here is the quick rundown of my top 3 games of 2024. Coming in at number 3, it's the game that won Game of the Year at the Game Awards, Astrobot. And any game from these top 3 entries on my favorite games of the year could easily be number 1 any day of the week. It's just, you caught me on this day, so this is the order it's coming in. But number 3 for me, Astrobot. It's so rare that Nintendo is outdone, matched, or even come close to in the realm of a platformer. And Astrobot is one of those where it is as good, if not better, than some of my favorite 3D Mario games. And that is saying so much. The creativity, the clear love for just gaming in general, and the unbridled joy that Astrobot delivers is higher concentration than any other game I've played in recent memory. It's just a blast to play through, and I can't wait to replay it. I'm so happy that I saw it all the way through, and there's so many more secrets that I have that I every time I fire up my PlayStation to play something else, it's always a temptation for me to go back and see if I can just find that one other Astrobot that I haven't found before. So that comes in at number 3 for me. Number 2 is a game that I think caught everybody by surprise this year, and that is Balatro. It is, a poker roguelike by a guy who doesn't really like poker, from what I understand. but he has taken the game mechanics, the core game mechanics of poker, which whether you like it or you don't like it, it's a well-designed game, and its longevity would tell you that. But he has the developer Local Thunk has made a product out of poker in Balatro that is perhaps even more perfectly designed than poker itself, because it gives you that incredible one more round feeling. And roguelikes have always been a tough sell for me. And in order to hook me, it needs that amazing eureka moment from the very early stages. And there's been, I would say, I can count on my hand how many roguelikes I've stuck with. Balatro might be my favorite roguelike of all time. It might be among my favorite indie games of all time. And for that, it lands at number 2 for me. It's absolutely my playing game at this point. It's always been Vampire Survivors, but now Balatro has kind of supplanted that as I have time to kill on a flight, I'm going to fire up Balatro. And then number 1 for me is a game that when I finished it, I said it would take something extremely special to dethrone this as my game of the year. Balatro and Astrobot almost did it, but not quite. And Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it was the game that coming into this year I was most excited for, and it delivered. It is the exact kind of open world that I can get obsessed with. I know some people had some problems with the pacing. Some people had some problems with the way the open world progressed. I didn't have problems with any of those. I loved the story. I loved the open world exploration. I think I 100%ed the first 3 biomes, and then eventually I got to a point where I was like, okay, I need to actually play through this story or I'm never going to finish it. But yeah, just the emotional journey that these characters that we're all so familiar with by now are going through. It's truly one of my favorite games of this generation so far, and I cannot wait to see how this development team that is, a combination of newcomers to the franchise or relative newcomers and the old guard like Tetsuya Nomura and Yoshinori Kitase, who've been with the franchise for decades. They've come together to create something really special in these first 2 parts of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy. And the third part, I have no reason to believe will be any different. So thank you so much again to the team at Boss Rush for including me in this. And if you want to find me, you can search for the All Things Nintendo podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
What is up, everybody? My name is Cameron Hawkins. I was asked by Boss Rush to talk about my 3 of my favorite games of 2024. For those that don't know me, I'm a huge JRPG guy, so all the games I'm going to be talking about are JRPGs. So the first game I want to talk about is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was a fantastic game that came out earlier in the year and has stuck with me to the end of it for both good and bad reasons. I think overall it's still an absolutely fantastic game. I think that there was a lot of expectations on this game and bringing the world of Gaia to life and exploring through all the different regions and iconic locations like the Golden Saucer and things like that I really think they did super well. The combat is absolutely phenomenal, like one of my favorite combat systems in any video game, regardless of genre. So shout out to them for that. Yeah, I just had a really great time with this game. I do have my issues with the story and how the narrative was handled, but I do think that a big part of that is that this is a part 2 of a 3-part story, so it's kind of hard to start a story and end it when it's so directly connected to the first game and the original Final Fantasy VII story. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, definitely worth playing, definitely worth checking out. In my opinion, one of the best games of this year. The second game I want to talk about is The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak. Over the past 4 years now, I have become a massive fan of the Legend of Heroes series. I have a tattoo. I met the creator and had his signature tattooed on me. I love this series. And it's really hard to talk about specifically Trails Through Daybreak because it is a series kind of like Kingdom Hearts where playing all of the games matter, in my opinion. There will be people that will say you can start with Daybreak, and objectively you can, but you're not going to get the narrative payoffs and the world building that you get if you were to start from the beginning. You get things spoiled for you. You get story, you get characters at certain parts in their life where they have already gone through all of this character growth or trauma or whatever, and so they're not the same way that they're introduced in their initial introduction in the series. And those are the things that make this series so special. And Trails Through Daybreak is the first game in the newest arc, the fourth arc of the series. And we got a new cast, new location in Calvard. And it's all, what you expect from Trails. It's high quality writing, world building, characters, diverse characters, well-written arcs. Everything about it is still so good. And I really want to use this time to be yes, Trails Through Daybreak is one of the best games of this year, but also just play the Trails series from the beginning. Play Trails in the Sky. It's on Steam. It's cheap. It's $20 to start it off, and it's a 35-hour game. And if you don't like it, you can stop. But everyone that I know that has played it, that off my recommendation, has fallen in love with the series too. And I think that you should all give it a great, a real shot. And you might, like me, end up finding a new one of your favorite video game series of all time. And my last game and my game of the year is Metaphor ReFantazio. There's a lot of different reasons as to why it is my game of the year. I think it serves as a culmination of, not specifically Studio Zero, but the game director, Katsura Hashino, who's directed SMT3, Persona 3 through 5, Catherine. This feels like his magnum opus in a way where the vision of what he's trying to accomplish here is so clear. And just for me personally, I love JRPGs because I love the stories that they tell. I love the way that stories are told in JRPGs. I love the combat. I love the settings that these stories take place in. And I think that all of those things are done so incredibly well in Metaphor. I think that the way that they blend together the mechanics of SMT and Persona, as well as introducing new mechanics, makes it feel fresh but also familiar. I think that the characters, the party members, are very diverse and have different backgrounds, and they use those characters to tell a bigger story and make the world feel more real, because the party members are each from a different tribe. I love how the story kind of presents this question of, does silver democracy really give people power? And the idea of the racial themes, the social themes that go throughout the story. I think Lord Luis is one of the best, not just JRPG villains, but video game villains in recent memory. I think all the voice performances are so well done, even for I feel like that there is this kind of disrespect to localization voice performances that aren't initially meant to be in the English language, that they're Japanese and they get translated over. I think the performances in these games are absolutely incredible. I really think that this is a phenomenal game. I think this game is going to hold up for a very, very long time, and it's going to be relevant down the line. And I think that if you are not super into JRPGs, you're not an enthusiast like me, but you want to try and find one that is modern and approachable, I think Metaphor is a prime example of that. So yeah, Metaphor ReFantazio is my personal game of the year.
Hey there, Bossies! I'm CJNB, and I really like indie games. I like sharing them with you guys. The Boss Rush crew has asked me to talk for a little bit, and asking me to talk is a dangerous request. So I've been making content since 2017 under the group named Couch Gnomes, and a lot has changed for me over the course of those 8 years. But 2024 may be the biggest year for me as a creator yet. Maybe not so much in terms of growth, but all of the cool stuff that I've had going on. At the beginning of the year, I got to go to my very first convention, PAX East. Not only did I get to go as a content creator, but also as a special guest where I got to be a part of my very first panel, talking about the best games on the Nintendo DS. And while I was roaming the PAX East floor, I got to sit down with a bunch of developers and preview their games before they even came out. Some even behind closed doors. They even had like fun little bottles of water and t-shirts for me. That was really cool. I also got to meet a bunch of content creators that I watch on a daily basis, and I got selfies with them. And this is actually where I met the Boss Rush team. Now, little did I know they were actually a team and not just a bunch of random creators sitting at the same table. Then during a round of handshakes, ended up knocking over somebody's coffee. But at least it wasn't caught on camera. Until it was. Dang it. And after that weekend at PAX, I got invited onto my friend's podcast. And then another friend's podcast. And then another, and another, and another. Oh, hey, they look familiar. And it was at that point that I realized I really enjoy podcasting. So I got with my buddy Topher, and we finally started our own podcast, Playlog. We get to discuss indie gaming news, reviews, and whatever we choose. And after going on nearly 40 weekly episodes since we got started, I'm loving every second of it. But that's still not all. With 2024 being the inaugural year of the Indie Game Awards, I was invited by the 6-1 Indie team to be a judge for the award show, which is insane to me that I was even considered. And wow, can you believe that won Game of the Year? Honestly, I'm recording this whole thing before the award shows even happened. I have no idea who actually won, but I'm betting it was Balatro. But speaking of Balatro, I couldn't make a video talking about my 2024 without mentioning all of the awesome indie developers I got to work with. I've been given the opportunity to review and play test so many awesome indie games this year, all made by incredible development teams or sometimes just one person. And in a world where the AAA space becomes somewhat samey year after year, the indie space exists to bring us fresh new takes on genres that we already love, but more importantly, games that are made with heart and passion over the idea of making fat stacks of cash. So for every developer who's reached out and trusted me with a copy of your game to play for review or for stream, thank you. You are the backbone of this industry, and I cannot wait to see what you make next. But anyway, that is enough from me. For now. I want to give a huge shout out to the Boss Rush crew for inviting me to talk about myself today. If you're looking for your next favorite indie game, be sure to check out my YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok so I can prove to you that saying there's just nothing to play is absolute bull. And of course, if you want to hear more of this beautiful voice in your ear holes, you can check out Playlog Podcasts on all your favorite streaming services, from Spotify to Amazon Music, or if you like the old video version, it's available on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching the 2024 Bossies. Let's send it back to the main crew. Bet. Ow, my knee.
"2024 brought us an incredible lineup of movies, television shows, anime, and games that left a lasting mark. Films like Dune Part 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, and Inside Out 2 delivered epic storytelling, humor, and heartfelt moments, while anime such as Dandadan and My Hero Academia continued to energize fans with action-packed and emotional stories.
TV series like The Penguin and Agatha all along kept us hooked with gripping narratives and clever twists that kept us guessing throughout the finales. Even this year's licensed video games like Marvel Rivals, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and Batman Arkham Shadow found new ways to immerse us in iconic worlds, blending nostalgia with exciting new adventures. Together, these works showcased innovation, creativity, and a deep connection to beloved characters and franchises, making 2024 a standout year for entertainment. TV series are a dime a dozen. With a sea of streaming services to choose from, there are scores of content to consume. However, with limited time on our busy adult lives, the Boss Rush community handpicked the cream of the crop, the best in TV series that are worth binging. I am pleased to present the Boss Key for the best TV series in 2024. Let's take a look at the well-deserved nominees. Shogun, Bad Monkey,
She was trying very hard to cry. What are you doing? You're not a cop.
House of the Dragon, The Bear,
Push boundaries. Constantly evolve to create.
Slow Horses, Star Wars The Acolyte, And the boss key goes to... Shogun.
Hi, I'm MJ Kuhn. I'm a fantasy and science fiction author and host of the SFF Addicts book podcast. I am probably best known for my fantasy heist duology, Among Thieves and Thick as Thieves, which are available anywhere books are sold, or you can go to mjkuhn.com. I first met the Boss Rush folks, I believe, on Twitter, or it may have been through another podcast I was a contributor on for a long time, another Zelda podcast. I think that we got connected into the gaming podcast industry through that. And since then, I've been on a few episodes and had a really great time talking about being a female gamer, talking about Mass Effect in depth, and a couple other things. So it's been great. I'm thrilled the Boss Rush team invited me to be here at the 2024 Bossies to represent the Boss Key Trophy for Best Film. A good film captures the imagination and evokes powerful emotions, whether it's through the heartwarming friendships of Toy Story, the chilling terror of Nightmare on Elm Street, or the intense moral complexity of The Dark Knight. Iconic characters like Woody and Buzz, Freddy Krueger, James Bond, Indiana Jones, and Batman anchor these films, making their stories. They transport audiences to thrilling, heartfelt, or haunting worlds, igniting joy, fear, or awe. These films resonate because they blend compelling narratives with timeless characters, creating experiences that linger long after the final scene. Here are the nominees for Best Film of 2024.
Every day,
Monkey Man,
I've prayed for a way to protect the weak.
Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. I Saw the TV Glow. Wicked. Dune Part 2. Alien Romulus. And the Boss Key goes to... Dune Part 2!
The planet-wide blackout was evolutionary. The robots began the impossible. They changed. They grew. They began to feel. Life has come too quickly to the mechanical shell of human creation. Now, you must shut it down. Or set it free. Robots at midnight. Wishlist now.
I'm Todd Oxtra from Secret Friends Unite, and also the co-host of the amazing Co-op Mode podcast with my co-host, Mark Carabin.
Yes, I am the other seat on the Co-op Mode podcast as part of the Secret Friend Unite network. And I also host Holocron Chronicles alongside a bunch of other shows, including Code 47 and a bunch of exclusives on our Patreon page.
We are Secret Friends Unite, which means we are your guide to the geek side. So along with myself, Mark, and Charlie Carden, we do a lot of cool stuff in regards to the worlds of Star Wars, Star Trek, and comic books. We also have a Patreon, so if you want to check us out for unique things that we do there. But in regards to all things geek, we hope you check us out at secretfriendsunite.com. My goodness. Absolutely. Mark and I have been doing this for about 5 years in worlds of video games. So we're very excited to be part of this Bossies Award. Thank you, Corey and the team. I met Ed in person. They're awesome people, and we are so excited to talk about how we can help out and be part of the Boss Rush community. Boss Rush community is amazing. We've been on their shows. They cover all things geek in regards to the world of video games and After Dark if you want to get a little saucy. So there you go. So Mark, are you ready to get into this?
I think so, yeah. The Boss Rush network is just something that I feel like I've always known the crew over there, and it's so exciting to be part of the Bossies in 2024. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm excited.
All right. Well, we're thrilled to have been invited to the 2024 Bossies to present the Boss Key for Best Game based on a license. Oh my goodness. Licenses. I remember playing all those games in the past. And this year, video games based on our favorite franchises delivered some incredible experiences, allowing us to step into the shoes of beloved heroes and join them on adventures.
From donning the cowl of Batman in VR to solving mysteries with Indiana Jones or exploring a galaxy far, far away, these games brought cherished characters and worlds to life like never before.
They not only let us relive nostalgic moments, but also created entirely new stories, expanding the universes we love.
These games go beyond entertainment. They deepen our connection to the franchises that we love and allow us to fully immerse ourselves in these worlds that we've been dreaming of exploring our whole lives.
So here are the nominations for Best Games based on a license.
Batman Arkham Shadow by Camouflage.
To destroy him.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle by Machine Games.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind by Digital Eclipse.
Marvel Rivals by NetEase.
Star Wars Outlaws by Massive Entertainment.
Let's raise the stakes, shall we?
And the Boss Key goes to... Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Find a way out before we're crushed.
A gun and a whip.
You'd be surprised how often it comes in handy.
Secret Friends Unite!
Hey everybody, this is Charlie Carden of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network, tuning in to talk to my great pal Corey and all of his wonderful friends at the Boss Rush Network. We at Secret Friends Unite, we've been around since 2014, your guide to the geek side. It's myself, my friend of 30 years, Todd Oxtra, and our friend Mark Carabin, who's been with us for several years. We produce 4 great shows covering Star Wars, Star Trek, general pop culture, and video games. We also launched a Patreon a couple of years ago, which carries a lot of great programming over at patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite, where you can jump over there, try us out for 7 days for free, and then stay on board for as little as $2 a month. I've known Corey for a couple of years now in the Boss Rush Network through Todd and Mark. While these guys are in the video game space, which is not my jam, they are very famous in our community and just overall really great folks. So I am honored and excited to jump in here and help them out with The Bossies, I believe it is. I believe it is called. I don't know. I like the Bossies, so maybe that's just what I'm going to call it. We'll see. So they've the Boss Rush community is happy to extend their awards and recognize the best in entertainment. Another category that they've added is best superhero movie or TV series. Because let's face it, we all need a hero in this day and age. Superheroes, although fiction, represent the best of mankind. As youngsters, we've likely imagined ourselves in capes and saving the world. Even as we grow older, many of us still delight in watching shows that give us a glimmer of hope in humanity or expose the darkness we face in a form of escapism from our own daily challenges. Superhero movies or shows remind us to always stand up for what is right and keep the little kid in us alive and smiling. The nominees for Best Superhero Movie or TV Series are The Penguin, X-Men 97, Season 1, Deadpool and Wolverine, Agatha All Along, Batman, Caped Crusader, and the Boss Key goes to Deadpool and Wolverine,
Hi.
Ah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ace of Green River here with Borderline Entertainment. You might know me as the GTC, Gaming's Tribal Chief, or you might know me from my game dev stuff, my voice acting stuff, and just about anything in between. But my relationship here with Boss Rush has been a truly special one. Getting started with them in roughly, I want to say 2020, connecting with Corey and Ed, they've just been a wonderful group of people to work with, especially Stephanie being my partner at PAX West for the video game trivia hosted by Jacob McCourt. And I'm very happy to be a part of the Boss Rush community and to present this award to y'all today. I'm excited to be here at the 2024 Bossies, presenting the Boss Key for Best Adaptation. The best video game adaptations to film and TV respect the essence of the source material while finding ways to make it shine in a new medium. Staying true to the game's characters, story, and tone is key, while creative liberties can add fresh perspectives when handled with care. Involving the original creators ensures the adaptation reflects the heart of the game's stories, which is incredibly important at maintaining authenticity and appeal. Whether it's through recognizable heroes, a compelling narrative, or faithful recreations of iconic moments, great adaptations celebrate the original work while introducing it to a broader audience, bridging the gap between gaming and other forms of storytelling. Without further ado, here are the nominees for Best Adaptation. Like a Dragon Yakuza, Prime Video. Tomb Raider the Animated Series, Netflix. Arcane, Netflix. Knuckles, Paramount Plus. Fallout, Prime Video. And the Boss Key goes to Arcane, Netflix.
Anime has long been an incredible medium of storytelling, world building, and character development. Through anime, we get to go on wondrous adventures filled with vivid colors and pulse-pounding sound. And, if we're just a little bit lucky, see a bit of ourselves reflected on screen. This year saw us go on adventures with superheroes in training, mages, and Saiyans. We saw beloved characters battle aliens, save the world, and settle old grudges. And yeah, there was a lot of shouting of Bankai. The nominees for Best Anime reflect the best of the best among incredible adventures, stunning visuals, and some of the finest character work in the industry. And the nominees for Best Anime of 2024 are Dandadan, My Hero Academia, Wisteria Wand and Sword, Bleach, The 1,000-Year Blood War, Kaiju Number 8, Dragon Ball Daima, and the Boss Key goes to Dandadan.
As you can see, 2024 was an incredible year for entertainment, showcasing unforgettable stories and groundbreaking creativity across movies, TV shows, anime, and other mediums. From epic tales and heartfelt moments to thrilling action and emotional depth, this year reminded us of the power of storytelling to captivate and inspire.
On screens big and small, creators pushed boundaries with gripping plots, clever twists, and immersive experiences that drew us into their worlds. Licensed video games brought iconic franchises to life in fresh and exciting ways, blending nostalgia with brand new adventures. As we close the book on 2024, it's clear that this year will be remembered as a defining moment in entertainment, a celebration of innovation, passion, and the magic of storytelling that brought us all together.
Hi, Boss Rush. I'm Johnson.
I'm Dan.
And we're developers of A Corgi's Cozy Hike.
Yeah, we make games that donate to animal shelters, and we've been working on A Corgi's Cozy Hike, which is a game that's an open world 3D platformer where you just go around as a corgi, fly, learn superpowers to prove stubby legs can't stop you from climbing a mountain.
It's really fun, and everybody's gonna love it once it's out. We're still working on it. It's been a year, almost 2 years now, and we're having a lot of fun working on it. We're gonna release a new beta thing soon for everybody to play around the holiday season.
But you can also play our current demo on Steam. It's the intro of the game where you get to meet the characters, just sit in cozy spots and relax, and also meet these cats that say you're too stubby to climb the mountain. Go prove them wrong.
Yeah, and right before we play the trailer, happy holidays, everyone.
Yep, happy holidays.
Join our Discord.
Thanks.
you're shining meant to lack.
Gaming communities are a powerful force that brings players together from all over the world. They create spaces where fans can share their love for games, collaborate, and support each other. Whether it's through online forums, live streams, or fan creations, these communities foster a sense of belonging and connection.
More than just entertainment, video games connect us with people across the world. They allow us to explore incredible new worlds, experience unforgettable stories, and bond with friends, no matter the distance. The power to bring people together is what makes gaming such a unique and meaningful art form.
Hello, my name is Adrielle, and I am allegedly, the first ever Patreon patron for Boss Rush. I'm so excited that the boss man himself, Corey Deering, reached out to me and asked me to participate in the Bossies this year. I'm genuinely so happy to be here. I am a copy editor and a researcher by trade, and I'm moving more seriously towards creative writing. And I'm also part of the community over at ZeldaDungeon.net, where I'm a producer for the Zelda Cast, which is a weekly Zelda podcast. And I actually learned about Boss Rush through Zelda Dungeon. A couple of years ago in 2021, I believe, Boss Rush editor-in-chief David Lasby was also a writer for Zelda Dungeon at the time, and he did a creator spotlight with our own Edward Varnell. And I thought the interview was just so thoughtful, and Ed was so generous and endearing and genuine, and it just really made an impression on me, and it brought me to Boss Rush. So for me personally, these gaming communities are a really important and fulfilling part of my own life, and if you're watching this, you might feel the same. Multiplayer games and MMOs in particular can bring people together to team up to hunt for legendary gear, conquer challenging raids, defend humanity from swarms of bugs and robots, or compete against the best in high-ranked PvP matches, which is not something that I will be doing. But single-player games have also sparked passionate communities, with players sharing build strategies for Elden Ring, class kits from Baldur's Gate 3, their latest pulls in Genshin Impact, or weird retro Zelda history, if you're me. And gaming communities also sometimes have a bad reputation for being toxic, and at times it is deserved. But many of these spaces are filled with support and camaraderie and a shared passion that makes gaming really special. And you meet people that you would have never met before, and you're better for it. So the Boss Rush community has come together to celebrate the very best of these spaces, the ones that truly stand out. So as a proud advocate and member of gaming communities myself, I am honored to present the Boss Key for Best Game-Based Community. Here are the nominees.
I saved you. And I'm
Baldur's
here to
Gate
save
3.
you again. The parasites are merely a symptom.
We'll face the
Bungie.
while we eliminate the remainder of its forces.
Flame.
From Software.
As soon as
Monster
we find a
Hunter.
good spot, we can get things set up and ready to go. And then we can get started.
Final Fantasy XIV.
Decide who takes my place.
must dawn, serpent.
Helldivers 2,
Together for liberty.
Together, they fight for freedom.
Genshin Impact,
王城堂の秘宝で死期を焼き払う。その地位の宿となると代償として誰か一人の命を失うことになるんじゃない。
and the boss key goes to
Possibly conceive. It threatens all.
Baldur's Gate 3,
It threatens the gods. The weave. The very fabric of the universe itself.
How would you feel about helping me kill some evil bastards?
Blackett blesses me this day.
What's up, everybody? This is Darren from the Rusty Rupees podcast, and I have my boys here with me, Justin.
Yo, what's good? Road Ninja 23.
Deontay.
13 Cross in the house.
And Cameron.
Hello.
And thank you to Corey and the Boss Rush community for having us on to spread a little bit of community and multiplayer joy with you guys as well.
Thank you.
Me and the Rupees here, we do a gaming podcast to bring you gaming news, anime, music, entertainment. We stream daily over at twitch.tv/RustyRupees, where we too have many multiplayer experiences to be shared with the community.
From traditional couch co-op to online multiplayer, there are several ways to enjoy video games with other people.
Multiplayer games offer a one-of-a-kind experience that takes shape from the actions of you and your partners.
Whether gameplay focuses on puzzle solving, platforming, or shooting, it's always way more fun with friends, or annoying if Cam is weighing your team down.
How did this become about me?
Yes.
Several multiplayer bangers released in 2024, and we are pleased to hold the boss key for one of these incredible nominees. Sorry, Justin, you're not nominated.
Next time.
The nominees for Best Multiplayer Experiences are
Destiny 2, The Final Shape by Bungie.
Helldivers 2 by Arrowhead.
Marvel Rivals by NetEase.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reader's Rewind by Digital Eclipse.
Tekken 8 by Bandai Namco. And the boss key goes to...
Helldivers 2 by Arrowhead.
With the ultimate weapon. Become a legend.
Hello. How are you? Hi.
Hi.
I'm Kat.
I'm Tat.
This is All Ages of Geek.
Insert horn noise.
Beep, 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 beep.
Anyway.
Hi again. So yes, we basically over at All Ages Geek, we interview a bunch of independent creators because they just don't get enough of love.
Yes.
A round of applause for everyone that we've interviewed so far. We also promote a lot of games, a lot of animations,
Voice
within
actors.
the indie space, voice actors. We create websites for voice actors as well because they also don't get enough of love. And what else do we do? Oh, we do a bunch of crazy reactions. Whether that's to your favorite anime, your favorite shows, your favorite movies, your favorite books, your favorite anything. We've been doing this for years, so yeah, everything just started. You know what it is when you watch like a bunch of shows at the same time, or like a good example is like when I don't drive, but here's the thing: when you play GTA and then you go driving, what happens to you?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So when you watch a bunch of shows and you do a bunch of reactions, it all kind of just starts like merging together, and you hear all these voices in your head.
trust me, we're not crazy.
A little bit.
Yeah. We're from New Jersey. And Ted, go ahead. How did you go and meet these amazing people?
Yeah, so we actually met Boss Rush at PAX East in 2024. I was randomly sitting in the press room and they came up to me and like, hey, who are you? And I told them about All Ages Geek and they're like, okay, let's interview you. So when I was very tired in the press room, we just sat down with them and did a cool interview. They're very, very nice people, so it was really cool that we could be part of this year.
No, it's funny because, you usually do all the interviewing.
Yeah, it was really
How did that feel? Like, you usually do all the interviewing on All Ages Geeks, like podcast, but like, how did it feel for you to be interviewed?
It's weird because when you're used to asking questions, when people start asking you questions, you're like, wait, how do I respond? Who am I? So it's like, okay, I'm usually like, okay, what do you do? And they're like, oh, hey, what do you do? And I'm like, oh.
It's like, I usually ask the questions here.
What is
What's
yeah,
happening?
so that's how we met. It was really cool.
Speaking of games and awesome conventions, what's our favorite game of the year? That I'm going to start with an indie. We have it right here.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's just promoted on it.
Techno
I don't know
Banter.
if you could see it, but it's a little pin of the.
Zoom in.
Yeah.
Zoom in right now. There it is, Techno Banter. It is one of those games where basically you have to take care of like this club, but there's so much more to it. It's a mixture of like those like tycoon games.
Yeah.
And then there's so much meaning behind it, but it's not one of those like force-feeding deep meaning things. It's one of those games where it's like it has comedy, but it's also like I'm not gonna force you a type of story. So it kind of goes into you have to do management and also kind of in a way like a visual novel.
Yeah, and the art style is really cool to the game too.
There's a lot of choice space, and if you make the wrong move,
It's so good.
I mean, you could like smash a freaking monkey's hands on the piano. Which, mind you, all of these animals are also like humans.
Yeah,
so
it's really sad and fun.
it's a really, really good game. I really do like the tiger in it. There's like an ape guy that comes in, and then you can like kind of say no to him, and then you kind of make your own type of like insults at people. You let him in, you're like this bouncer, and if you don't let him in, then they either get
try to
mad
attack
or they
you.
shun you, or then you dodge like their attacks, basically based on comeback. So it just overall is such a good game, and you actually did interview them over on PAX, right?
I think it's PAX West.
Yeah.
We met the one of the developers of the game.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to see like meeting the people who made the game and then being able to play it. But it's definitely like one of those games that like if you're bored at night and you don't know what to do, like pick up this game because it's like there's a lot to the game. Like we only played like an hour of it, and it's like we barely got through.
Yeah, it was
any
just a
of the
demo
game.
too,
Yeah.
and the demo itself it gives you a lot of like the taste and feel of what it is. The characters are very like memorable, and the good thing about it too is if you're into like one of those like management type games, like things can go really wrong, and you get rewarded based on how you do. So you could either have a really bad club, a really good club, and everyone's experience with the game will be very different.
And it's cool because you can actually explore like the city. Because a lot of like choice-based games, it's very limited to what you could see. This one, it's like you can like walk around and like interact with like the laundromat, like all the stuff in the city. And it just definitely sets the tone of like what the game is trying to show.
Yeah, if you know the series Gumball, you know how like everyone looks different.
Yeah, we didn't even think
It's
about that.
very similar to that, where it's like the characters, like some of them look very pixelated, and it's supposed to be like that, and they move like this, but then like the background looks very, very heavily detailed. It's just there's so much to do within that game, and it is an indie, so please do check that out.
Yeah.
But outside of indies, we always go for the same two games like every single
year.
The Sims, even though
yeah.
despite the fact that the Sims, if you go into the community, there's a lot of like bugs and certain things in Sims 4, but overall, like it's out of love that the community of the Sims just want to help the game itself. Like modders are absolutely amazing what they can do in the Sims, and I think the reason why Sims is so good is because you can customize as much as you want. Not as much as Sims 3, but Sims 4 they look better. So like I said, and then also Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
We still want it on the Switch.
Yeah, I was still waiting for that. That's going to be like one of the most like highlights of our year.
Our life.
If it does, our life. If it does happen and go onto the Switch, everybody wants it to actually go on the Switch. It is one of those games that would be perfect for it because it's Nintendo like in general, like on GameCube, which was another one of the best consoles that were out there. And I feel like the best consoles for Nintendo is Switch then GameCube, but GameCube has better games. This is All Ages a Geek. I'm Tat. Yeah, I'm Kat.
I'm Tat.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Woo!
Hi, I'm Tristan Bellawalla. I'm an animation writer and content creator, and I was the narrative coordinator on Helldivers 2. I currently write for Webtoon, and I met the awesome folks over at Boss Rush at PAX West who were kind enough to show me around and made it an experience I will never forget. I'm excited to be here on the 2024 Bossies to present the Boss Key for Best Ongoing Game. The best ongoing games thrive by engaging players through consistent updates, polished gameplay, and a strong community to rely on. It delivers a core experience that feels rewarding, with mechanics that appeal to both casual and the most hardcore of gamers. Fresh content like new stories, maps, characters, events, and even community-made skins keeps the experience exciting, especially when shared with friends and family. Seasonal rewards and progression systems offer meaningful goals for those who love the grind to put their all in at every hour of every day. Strong community engagement and active developer interaction make players feel valued, ensuring they stay excited to return time and time again. Here are the nominations for Best Ongoing Game. Fortnite by Epic Games. No Man's Sky by Hello Games.
Planet variety is far beyond what was possible.
Genshin Impact by miHoYo. Final Fantasy XIV Online by Creative Business Unit 3 and Square Enix. Destiny 2 by Bungie.
While we eliminate the remainder of its forces, our final chance.
And the Boss Key goes to Fortnite by Epic Games.
It's truly incredible to witness the way different video game communities thrive, powered by the passions of their fan bases. These spaces bring players together where they can connect, share their love for games, and build lasting relationships.
These communities continue to grow and evolve because of the dedication of players, creators, and fans alike that elevate gaming from just a pastime to a shared experience that unites us all. Thank you to everyone who contributes to making these communities so special, and we're all excited to see how they continue to shape the future of gaming.
Well, hey everybody, Amanda Van Heil here with my top 5 games of 2024. Let me just preface this by saying I have not played Astrobot, so if I had, it would probably be on my top 5. So I promise I'm not leaving Astrobot out. I just haven't played it yet because my backlog is ginormous and it's embarrassing. So let's get this puppy started. At number 5, I am giving it to Princess Peach Showtime for one reason, and that reason is Kung Fu Peach. Why is it that you're all excited about Kung Fu Peach? Well, because I train in Kung Fu. I love Kung Fu. I love seeing Princess Peach do Kung Fu. So, number 4 goes to Mario Party Jamboree. I got to play that at PAX West and had a lot of fun with it. I loved the little mini games, especially Sandwiched. That one's my favorite, and the sandwiches look so good, especially the egg salad. Oh my gosh. I've played it since it came out. Like, once it came out, I played it with, like, my friends online, and I've played it at home with my husband. I just want to point out my husband and I are still married, despite the fact that he has stolen stars from me, and I have stolen stars from him. And so if that's not love, I don't know what is. Yars Rising from Atari, and it is a, like, spiritual successor to Yars Revenge. And there are still elements of Yars Revenge within the game. You get to play, like, that style of game, like, as a mini game within the game is really neat. The rest of the game is a Metroidvania. I highly recommend it. I love the writing. The dialogue is so funny and so clever, and the voice acting and all the performances are fantastic. So now we're at number 2, which is Persona 3 Reload. That game is a just beautiful masterpiece. Everything about it, I love it so much. I love all the characters. One of the things I like about it is, compared to other Persona games, you get the majority of the party like early on, so you're not like at the end of the game and just meeting a character. And just the music is incredible. All of the actors did a wonderful job in their roles, especially, oh my gosh, Zeno Robinson as Junpei. His performance killed me. It was that good. And I don't know how he has not won every single award on the planet for that role, because it was just that incredible. But I love Persona 3 Reload. I played it like as soon as it came out, and then sunk in well over 100 hours. And then the DLC, which came along with it, came like months later. I've been playing that also, but playing Persona 3 Reload inspired me to play Persona 4 Golden. So I played that this year, and then I was like, well, it's been a while since I played 5, so I decided I'd try 5 Royal, because I never played that one. So 3 Persona games in 1 year, that's a lot. And at the number 1 spot, as a surprise to, I'm sure, nobody, my number 1 game is The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. To finally be able to play as Zelda after 38 years of the series is so incredible, despite it being her legend. And I loved the puzzle aspect and creating the various echoes, because Zelda represents the Triforce of Wisdom. So yes, there is going to be combat about it, but she's also very smart about it, because she's the Triforce of Wisdom. She's what represents it. And so just seeing different ways to solve all the different puzzles. I would stream it and my friends would come in and watch it, and there'd be some puzzles where they're like, there's a way easier way to go about this. And so some I would like make overly complicated. And then there would be some other ones where like I would solve it in 2 seconds with a really simple solution, and they're going, oh, well, I spent way longer on that puzzle than I needed to do then. So it's just neat that there's so many different ways to solve it. And then, of course, I think of all the sweet little kids, all the little, like, 8-year-old girls out there who make this their very first Zelda experience. I would have loved to have a really cool princess to play as when I was a little kid, and so I'm glad that opportunity is there for little girls now. Well, those are my top 5 games. Thank you so much to my sweet friends over at Boss Rush for having me on the video. You can find me on Zelda Universe TV on YouTube, or pretty much showing up at a lot of events that Zelda Universe does. I also host the Shine Sparkers podcast, where I get to talk about Metroid, and really I just show up places where Zelda is being discussed. Like eventually, like if there's a Zelda discussion happening, I'm gonna show up somewhere. I also stream on Twitch. My channel is Panda Princessa, and you will see me playing an assortment of games, mainly like variety of like adventure platformers, Metroidvanias, and most importantly, my cats show up, and everybody wants to see my cats.
Hey there, my name is Jess Rappaport. I am the owner of Zelda Universe and the creator of Zelda Wiki, and these are my top 3 games from 2024, which is pretty easy for me because I pretty much only played 3 games in 2024. Specifically, I played Zelda games that I've never finished. It might surprise you, but for over 20 years, I had never played Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. So, in 2024, I finished both. And I also finished Wind Waker HD, but we'll get back to that later. So you might be wondering, between Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, which one did I like better? And the answer is Majora's Mask. I loved Majora's Mask. I also loved Ocarina of Time, but they're really different games. Why do I love Majora's Mask? Well, my favorite Zelda game of all time is The Wind Waker. I love the emotional connection you get to the characters, the expressiveness in the art style, and I love that the story is focused on the emotions of those characters. So it's probably no surprise that Majora's Mask resonated a lot more deeply with me than Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time had a very specific job, to be the first 3D Legend of Zelda, and that meant that its environment and its world was pretty generic, I felt. It had to be the save the princess, go through the standard dungeons, and I felt that the game itself was pretty long. Next to Twilight Princess, probably the longest Zelda game I've ever played. And with these Zelda games that get really, really long, I have the attention span of a peanut. And Majora's Mask, with its compact size, but filled to the brim with emotion and depth, really completely drew me in. You can see a lot of things that the Wind Waker pulled from Majora's Mask when you play through Majora's Mask. And I really appreciated the things that they took from Majora's Mask and put into the Wind Waker. But especially just getting all of that deep emotion and story out of the world in Majora's Mask. I love the self-contained nature and how it happens in a place that isn't Hyrule. The creativity in Majora's Mask is just, turned up to 11. Ocarina of Time is a game that I've tried to play over the years many, many times. And when I first became a Zelda fan after playing Wind Waker on GameCube in 2003, I actually joined the Zelda Universe message boards as a member before I became the owner. And a lot of Ocarina of Time fans did not like the Wind Waker. And that kind of led to my decades-long protest of playing it because I didn't like the Ocarina of Time extremists, if you will. We have my guest star Finn in the back, by the way. Hi Finn, love you. Guest star Finn. This is what cats do. This is what cats do. Ocarina of Time was also incredibly heavily dungeon focused, and for me, I love exploring the worlds of Zelda. And so with Ocarina of Time having a world that to me felt a little more generic, with it going from dungeon to dungeon to dungeon, and the dungeons were long, it's no surprise that I latched on to Majora's Mask. The dungeons in Majora's Mask were also a lot better, and they fixed a lot of the issues that I had in Ocarina of Time, like needing to figure out how to put blue fire in a bottle, which is such a video game logic kind of puzzle, which I understand Nintendo doing that for their first try at 3D. And I do massively appreciate Ocarina of Time for being what it is and for being the first 3D Zelda. But for my money, I have to give it to Majora's Mask as the N64 Zelda game that I like the most. Now, I also played Wind Waker HD. It was my first time playing the HD version of Wind Waker, which truncates a lot of the more tedious things in the Wind Waker and adds a graphical overhaul. But finishing it all the way through, Wind Waker is exactly how I remember it. It is such a joy to play from start to finish. The art, the expressiveness. I love that there's so much detail packed into an art style that seems simple on its surface but holds so much complexity. You get so many great little features packed into the character designs that are able to support it, like Link having big expressive eyes is able to look around the room and give you hints about what's going on. And the dungeons are so vibrant and creative, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just the right length for someone like me. Again, attention span the size of a peanut, so Wind Waker is perfect for me. So what was my favorite game of 2024? I gotta hand it to Wind Waker. Wind Waker's the GOAT. Sorry, Majora's Mask. It was no contest. Wind Waker is my absolute favorite Zelda game, and every time I play it, I am reminded of why it is the absolute peak of Zelda, even more than modern Zelda games than Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I love the Wind Waker, and I've got to hand it to Majora's Mask for being a big surprise for me with how much I loved it, because I did think that I was going to like Ocarina of Time a lot more. That is my top 3 games of 2024, playing Legend of Zelda games that I have never finished. If you want to see me play more Zelda games that I've never played before, because there are still a few, I'm going to be playing A Link to the Past over on my Twitch channel this year at twitch.tv/JessRappaport, and you can always find me on Twitter or Instagram or any other social network at Golden Chaos. And if you want to find Zelda Universe, it's of course zeldauniverse.net. If you want to find Zelda Universe on social media, on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/ZeldaUniverseTV, and on Twitter, it's at Zelda Universe. Thanks so much, and I'm looking forward to a great 2025.